been a long road since the original Kicker christened that first pickup truck. It kicked off a car audio renaissance, and upgrading your music in a vehicle was a requirement. America's music machines became living loud over your passion, your emotion, your existence. Outdoors or on the open road, your sound is Kicker.
It's the Kip and Dave Show.
Excitement.
Are you ready?
22. We're doing it one more time. We're going to do another one. We're going to do this right this time.
Wicka.
Check. I'm Speedlish.
Camera adds 27 pounds. It just seems like a
I know.
abrupt it's just
kind of, yeah.
This is Dave.
And Kip.
Come check us out. This is Kip.
And Dave.
And I got it wrong again. And we're going to have to do this again because we went down a different trail. Until then, this is Dave.
And Kip.
Come check us out. Come check us out.
Yeah.
Wicka.
I think that's good.
Just pick one. God, I hate the ending. There's no way to end this.
Just say, come see us. Just come see us. And just come see us.
So.
Come see us at the two locations.
God, it just seems so hard.
Oh, howdy. Delmar Hogwallop here, coming to you from outside Mildred's Bait Shop and Lingerie. Would appreciate you all coming, giving a look-see in on the Kicker Unmasked show. Those folks at Kicker, salt of the earth, make some of the finest gear ever tickle your ear. So, mighty fine of you to come take some time off and check them out. And remember, whether you're looking for night crawlers or nighties, Mildred's is your place. So once again, hey, son, put down that armadillo and get some pants on. Oh, my Lord, kids.
Music is my passion, my livelihood, and it's in my DNA. My pals at Kicker Marine Audio gave me a chance to take the music, what I love and listen to, at home, on stage, and in the car, onto the water. Hi, this is Jason Bonham, and I want to say a big thank you to my friends at Kicker Audio for inspiring the songs and the stories behind the music that inspires America. Go overboard!
The Kicker Quad Box is the most insane, ground-pounding, bass-head-loving, preloaded subwoofer enclosure we have ever offered. It consists of 4 L7R 12-inch subwoofers. It has a total power handling of 2,400 watts RMS, and it's tuned at an amazing 31 hertz. Here to tell us more about it is Kicker's very own Jeremy Brown.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Brown. I've been with Kicker for 22 years. I work in the research and development department. In the early 2000s, I would run the Gates Bronco at shows like Daytona. We would do hair tricks, 48 10-inch subwoofers with 48 1,000 watt amplifiers. Really big build back in that day. We were able to develop some high output enclosures that were up above the 170 dB mark. We set a few world records with some of those enclosure designs and our woofers. We learned a lot about high output enclosure designs during that time, and we've been able to bring that to our product lines today. Within the last year, we introduced a new subwoofer enclosure with 4 L7R12s that we call the Quad Box. Our Quad Box is built out of 3/4 inch birch. It's got a 1.5 inch baffle and a 1.5 inch bottom. We also use window frame bracing along with corner bracing to make the enclosure more rigid. We use a flared port to reduce port noise and increase port surface area. This type of vent design helps maximize output. We use the L7R 12-inch subwoofers because this allows you to use one KXA 2400.1 amplifier, and you still get big bass with fewer upgrades to your charging system. The Kicker Quad Box is the bass head starter kit, and if you're worried, it plays way below 40 hertz.
Do not attempt to adjust this transmission. We have assumed control.
The year is 1980. Music fights for its very survival in an acoustically desolate wasteland man calls automobile. Enter Steve Irby, a man whose love of music helped end this scourge forever and forge a path for modern car audio to follow. A humble musician with a passion for quality sound, Mr. Irby is a man who feels it is his destiny to provide a sanctuary for mobile audio.
Welcome. Join us this evening as we venture back to the very night a young Steve Irby gains his inspiration to create the legacy we know today as Kicker Performance Audio.
Though he does not realize it now, by this time tomorrow, Mr. Irby will have completed blueprints for the original Kicker and champion the war against mobile audio inequality. Tonight, Mr. Irby's prayers will be answered as he begins his quest into the Q Zone. Kicker L7QB8. With roots dating back to Kicker's inception, Mr. Irby and his team of engineers have achieved an unrivaled level of design and functionality. With extraordinary bass and a minimal footprint, the L7QB8 utilizes a seamless 1/4 inch extruded aluminum housing, allowing optimal internal air volume for the subwoofer. This exclusive design provides exceptional strength and stability. Like the original Kicker, the L7QB8 incorporates a unique passive radiator to minimize required airspace while optimizing the efficiency and frequency response of the subwoofer. Opposite the passive radiator, the L7QB8 is equipped with the all-new 8-inch L7 square subwoofer. The 2016 L7 features an aluminum basket for exceptional strength and thinned aluminum heat sinks for efficient heat dissipation. Kicker's blue lace spider, solo cone 360-degree back bracing, and a laser-etched cone brace combine as a single ultra-rigid unit. The result is increased clarity, higher volume, and added reliability. The square cone features over 20% more surface area than round subwoofers. It's attached to a Santoprene surround, then stitched to the cone for long life and durability. This surround features Kicker's patented ribbed corners, which fully dictates cone motion and extends surround life.
At the base of the unit, a pair of custom-formed flanges integrate seamlessly with an extremely low-profile mounting system, consisting simply of a mounting plate and bar. Once installed, the overall height of the enclosure is only 9.5 inches. This profile is small enough to work perfectly in countless trucks, sedans, and SUVs. Once again, Kicker sets a new standard with the groundbreaking design and unparalleled performance of the all-new L7 QB8.
This is where Kicker started, right here.
Mic check from Kip. Mic check
here.
1, 2.
It was a great place, but just a little bit small.
Mic check.
After
Mic
about
check.
6 months, actually, we got kicked out of here. My wife said there's entirely too much sawdust seeping into the house from the garage. But this was the beginning right here in the garage on 1412 Eastern Street in this little house. Okay, here we are at Kicker location number 2 down on South Main Street in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And this is the little house that we moved into after we got kicked out of the garage. Here we are at Kicker location number 3. We spent about 7 or 8 years in this place. We moved from the little house right over here into the Quonset when we ran out of space. We had about 35 employees. Here we are, Kicker location number 4. This is up on top of the hill. It's a little bit windy here. We spent the years from 1989 until about 2006 here, until we moved into our new facility.
Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday night, 7:30 Central Time. Facebook and YouTube, if you're tuned in, it's Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. I'm your host, Mr. Kip Litzy. Thank you for joining us here this evening. I think we got a fun-packed show on tap for tonight. We're going to give you some information about events that are upcoming. We got some special guests in the studio tonight that we're going to talk about. And if you've seen the teaser that we shoot every week to promote what's coming up, you know it's going to be what's in our rides. And of course, it's not everybody's car here at Kicker, but we've hand-selected 4 guys that we're going to talk to tonight, and we're going to go over what they have in their cars. You can ask us questions about why they chose what they did, what they've got. Do they have upgrade plans? Is it their favorite vehicle? Do they have more than one? Anything like that? We're going to get a chance to do that. And then we've got some music. Of course, it is licensed music, so it's not anything current or popular that you guys are probably familiar with, but at least it's something that sounds good, has a good beat and rhythm to it, and some nice mids and highs. So we can actually demo these systems to you live and let you take a listen to them. So it's going to be a good time tonight. Ought to be a fantastic show. Looking forward to it. I'm going to get up here to my notepad, sit down here at my computer, and we're going to talk about what we've got on the agenda for tonight. You know, every Tuesday night we are blessed, and I mean that sincerely. As a team, we get together and we get to sit down and break bread, have dinner. Tonight we had a little place here in town. It's called Boba Fusion. A gentleman down there by the name of Hawk runs and operates that place. And man, it is some of the best. It's like Asian, Japanese. It's kind of smashed together with a little bit of American twist to it. I guess that's why they call it Boba Fusion. Fantastic food down there. I had a couple rolls tonight. Crazy Texas roll, I think, was one of them I had. Nice and spicy. It's got a little bit of heat to it, so it's got a little bit of that Oklahoma love in it. But man, really, really good stuff down there. So we all broke bread together, talked about what we're going to do on the show tonight. It's really kind of the only pre-meeting we have for this. You know, we set a schedule every 30 days. We kind of plan the next 4 shows, so we know what's coming. But really, we kind of talk about in this, our pre-meeting is really when we have dinner here together. So thanks to Becky, thanks to Steve for letting us do this. Thanks to all our bosses who, up the food chain. Really, really nice of you to let us break bread together and get ready for the show tonight. I see comments coming up. Jay Bordoy, Kip, we know that you have a demo L7X Solo X in one of your cars. I don't yet, but I will. And it will be happening soon. It will be happening soon. Tonight's contest, let's get that out of the way so you guys have time to get that tuned in. If you are new to the show, if you're an old timer, you already know how this works. But if you're new to the show, what we have a habit of doing is we launch it right at 7:15 every evening, and it's a link to a contest. And it's always kicker.fun/something, and tonight is Our Rides. That's the link. So it's kicker.fun/Our Rides. And it's a contest we run for the show. We kick it off at 7:15. We close the contest down right at 8:30, and we announce the winners between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. And it's our way of special thank you, sir. Hey, thanks for tuning in, spending some of your Tuesday night with us. We always do some cool shirts. We do some prizes. We try to change the grand prize up. It's going to be really, really interesting tonight. We're actually giving away a loaded subwoofer enclosure to our grand prize winner. A pair of koozies and the Kicker t-shirt, the Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly t-shirt. And then second and third place winners, we're going to throw you a set of EB300 earbuds, a shirt as well, and a pair of koozies to keep whatever beverage you like to drink while you're watching the show or enjoying summertime outside. We're going to send you some Kicker koozies to enjoy that as well. So that contest runs up until 8:30. We'll give you a few more notices verbally to let you know that contest when it's about to expire. So if new people tune in, you know it. Bill will run that link through the bottom of the screen. But tonight is kicker.fun/Our Ride. So that's the contest for tonight. And don't forget that if you are from Canada, you can enter the contest now as well. We've actually had a couple of Canadian winners, which is fantastic. Our good friends Jemson, they are a distributor up in Canada. They are working with us so that everyone north of the border in their area can compete in our contest and have a chance to win. So thank you, Jemson, for working with us. And if you're from north of the border, thank you for tuning in and joining a little bit of the show tonight. You know, we announced on last week's show that we were going to do a special giveaway when we hit the 20,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. We're close. Ernie, bring up my laptop, if you will, as an asset. And if you can see on there, we are getting really, really close on this. This is actually the homepage of the Kicker YouTube channel. You can see right now we're at 19,600 subscribers. So we're about 400 subscribers away, which isn't that many. When we hit the 20,000 mark, we will go ahead and we will create a contest. We will run some kind of contest for you guys to celebrate that we've hit the 20K mark. I think that's going to be really, really cool. That'll be fun to do that, be able to celebrate that we're at the 20,000 mark. So if you're a new attendee to the show, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, join us on YouTube. That way we can, I'd love to, but there's 2 red lights on. I'm actually confused. Ernie's up there going to follow the red light, and there's 2 of them on. So if we can hit that 20,000, or let me say this, we're going to hit the 20,000 mark. The sooner we hit that 20,000 mark, the sooner we're going to give some drawing, get some drawing in action for a big grand prize. So if you're new to watching us, man, please hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. If you're not new to watching us and you still haven't hit that like and subscribe button, go ahead and do that for us now. We don't monetize these videos, and we never will. It's just good information for us to know that you're enjoying the content that we're producing. So, man, don't have to do it this second, but on the way out the door, if you can smash that thumbs up button, we'd sure appreciate that. And like I said, when we hit 20K, we're going to come up with a big prize package to give away. Deviant for life, that's right. Tappy, tappy, likey, likey. El Fuego, Kiptastic celebration for 20,000 subscribers. El Fuego, I hope you are doing much better. I know you are a big grand prize winner on the Comp Q woofer, and I know that you had some things going on. You were actually in the hospital for some issues, so I hope you are doing much better. Subscribe or mention in the comment how you're doing, man. We'd love to know what's going on with you right now. Hey, I see Living Loud with Andy. What's up, Kip? How you doing, Andy? Good to see you here tonight. Lots of comments going up there. Speaking of comments, I want to do this real quick. What Kipisms can we come up with tonight? Oh, I stumble across the English language quite well. I'm sure we will create some in the upcoming 90 minutes. But I didn't have a chance to get these to Ernie, and I feel bad that I didn't. So maybe, just maybe, Tim can get a decent shot of these, or maybe Ernie can. I don't know how this will work. Let's see if Tim can get this. Go on 3, okay. I'll go on 3. Sorry about that. So I got a couple pictures here I want to show you guys. Let me wake my phone back up. Sorry about that here, wake my phone up. So if you can see that, it's a box and it says, Happy Birthday, Kip. And this arrived at my house last week. And so, of course, I opened it up. And inside the magical Happy Birthday Kip box was this. So someone out there apparently thinks I need to try the Arnold Palmer Spiked Tee. And so I got to give shouts and props out to Bobby B, Bobby Burkett, man. Thank you, Bobby. They arrived. They are actually in the refrigerator. Of course, I kept the koozie on that you sent me. I don't know if you sent me the koozie to keep them from clanging together, or if you just thought it was the best thing ever to give the kicker guy one of his koozies for his birthday. But either way, that was pretty cool, Bobby. I haven't tried either one yet. I put them in the, I mean, if you're like, at least I do. I got what's called a beer fridge. So I have a refrigerator at home that's just for beverages. You know, it's soda, Gatorade, tea, beer, whatever you might have. And so they're chilling. I will probably have one this coming weekend after I get done mowing the yard. So I'm looking forward to have that, Bobby B. Thank you so much for that. Those of you who tune in know, actually the 5th was Ernie's birthday and the 9th was my birthday. Found out a lot of people have July birthdays. My son's birthday is actually the 26th of this month. So thank you for all the birthday wishes and shout outs, and to all you people out there who may have a birthday in July, happy birthday to you as well. I just wanted to show that to you. Sorry I didn't give them to Ernie as assets. I just completely forgot about doing that, but I knew they were in my phone. Events. You know, we've started covering the live events that we're going to be at out in the field, whether they're a consumer event or they're a trade event. We like letting people know where Kicker as a company is going to be in the upcoming 30 to 60 days. So, Ernie, if you don't mind, let's reach back to my laptop again. I've got the list of events right here. First one is going to be Dune Fest. This is July 27th through August 1st up in Winchester Bay, Oregon. Our own JW will be up there. Tracy Foch, who's the regional manager for that area, and Lauren Morrell. Lauren is really part of the Kicker family. He does a lot of our UTV, ATV, sand rail, even marine or boating events. So shout out to Lauren if you're watching. I know you tune into the show quite a bit, but that's going to be the next event, Dune Fest, that we'll be attending. Then after that, everyone knows this one. It's Outlaw Armageddon, the World Series of No Prep. This is down in Noble, Oklahoma at the Thunder Valley Raceway Park. This will be August 13th through the 14th. Jeremy Wynn will be down there. Tracy will be as well. Ernie Ficklin and Bill Brown will be down there from here in the studio. And Sandy will be on board. For those of you who are Sandy fans, if you're in the area, want to meet her in person, you can do that. I, unfortunately, will not be there. I will actually be on vacation, and I will be enjoying it. But the Outlaw Armageddon. That's a fantastic show if you're in the area. It's a great show. You ought to go down and attend that. We did announce last week the Route 66 Festival. Unfortunately, the plug on that one has been pulled for various reasons, so that is now canceled off of our event schedule. But then moving on to that one would be the next one would be August 15th, which is right after Outlaw Armageddon. This would be down at Audio Midwest in Edmond, and they are having an event down there. It's actually going to be a kind of an open house, and then our own Billy Temple from Base Wars will be down there, and he'll be holding a contest there at the Edmond location. I was looking here on the website. I'm sure it's down here. Edmond location. Yeah, here we go. It's at 324 West 33rd Street, Edmond, Oklahoma. So that'll be a cool event coming up. Then right after that, we will be hopping in rides. Oh, wait, this is a new one. Got me. This is a new one coming up. This is J-Rod's Garage, and he actually has a habit of putting together an event that has about 800 to 1,000 attendees. They typically drive to a small town. They will get together there. They'll have helicopter rides. It'll be kind of like a carnival atmosphere. And it's really to just a bunch of people to get together, enjoy their cars, enjoy the ride to the destination. And also, it brings a lot of income and extra money into that small community. They usually try to do smaller communities to hold the event in. And they've actually reached out to us, and we're going to have one right here at the facility here at Stillwater Designs and Audio, or Kicker as everyone knows us as. That's going to be on August 22nd. There'll be food trucks here. We're going to open up the museum up front, so you'll be able to come in. You can tour the museum area in the front of the building. We'll have food trucks. If you want any further information on this, reach out to social@kicker.com. That'd be Bill Frog, and he can get you any information you'd like to know about this as this fleshes out. Next event, this is for people of the trade, obviously. This is going to be Knowledge Fest. Next one coming up is down in Dallas. I will be attending this one as well as a few other people from here. I think Ernie will be going along. This will be August 27th and 29th in Dallas, Texas. Kicker will be there. We have a booth. We will be attending this show, so be sure to check it out. Obviously, all these places, as you can see, I bring up the website so you can check it out. Google's your friend, or most of them are just the name of the event. You can see it comes right up. Following that one, we got OC Jeep Week. That's out in Ocean City, Maryland. Our own Matt Matheson, Jeremy Wynn will be out there at this event. Is Lauren going to be there? Nope, no Lauren. Okay, no Lauren. I didn't know if he'd be there or not, but I wanted to ask. So that's Ocean City Jeep Week. That'll be a fantastic event out there, August 26th through the 29th. As you can see, that event kind of goes about the same time frame as the Mira, so Knowledge Fest. So it'll be half of the crew at one, and half of us at the other one. So we're splitting up to do that. That'll be followed by the Sand Sports Super Show out in Costa Mesa, California. You can see here that's the title sponsor this year is Geico. So it's the Geico Sand Sports Super Show. It is at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa, California. This is a fantastic event. The weather is always stellar. That'll be a good time. The Kicker XRV will be there. Full staff will be on board. It's going to be a really, really good time. So I highly suggest if you're looking for an opportunity to come out in the field and interface with Kicker personnel directly or see the XRV that'll be at some of these key events, please stop on out. We would love to see you and meet you at an event. So seeing here, what else is on my list? Oh, events are out of the way. Tonight's special guest. So I made a detailed list here so I could not get it wrong, which I'm sure I will anyway. So tonight's special guest, the first one when we get to it here in a little bit, our first special guest will be a 2006. It's a Harley-Davidson Softail Deluxe. He or she is a beauty of a bike, and we will do a grand tour through that one. Then we're going to move along to a 2003 Z71 Tahoe that has a quad box. That's going to be fun. Then it's a 2011 Ford Camaro, no, I don't know. It's a 2011 blue something. It's got GT on the end of it, so we'll see what that is when we get out there. And then last but not least, we have a 91 full-size Chevy, a C1500. And that thing is slammed to the ground. It is a gorgeous vehicle. I don't want to tell you the owners of the vehicles yet. We'll meet them when we get to each vehicle. But obviously, we've had a lot of people reach out and say, what are in your cars? You know, meaning the employees who work at Kicker, what do you have? And so we've hand-selected these first four to go through. If we get a lot of positive response from this, we can obviously add to this plate and do more as we go forward. When I get a prototype L7X in my own vehicle for testing, yeah, we'll bring at one on board. I think that would be fun because, yes, I will have one of those in my vehicle and hopefully very, very soon. So with that said, that's our special guest that'll be on the air tonight with us. Don't forget the contest that runs up until 8:30. That is kicker.fun/R-Rides. Hence, we're going over R-Rides tonight. And then last but not least, when we talk about contests, you know, our big winner 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago we announced this, was Stephen Citano. Hopefully I've said that correct. I'm sure you're watching, Stephen. But Stephen was our big winner for our mobile soundstage engineering giveaway that we did in conjunction with Mark Eldridge over in Bixby, Oklahoma. And Stephen is our big winner. He is from California. He's coming out to the event. He's verified everything. So Stephen's going to come out. I haven't heard if he's going to fly out or drive. Do you know, Bill, is he flying out or driving out?
I think he's driving.
Wow, that's dedication. So he is driving in all the way from California. He'll stay basically 3 nights, 2 days, 3 nights over in Bixby, Oklahoma, and attend the mobile soundstage engineering. We'll actually get over there and attend a morning session with him probably on that first Saturday. And then he will come over to Stillwater on Monday, spend the night here Monday, and then Tuesday morning get up and be able to come in, get a full tour of the Kicker facility. We'll run him through the UnMasked studio, show him where we put this together every week, and then we will have him on the show on that Tuesday, which would be the 23rd, I think, 22nd or 23rd. It's the 20th, 21st, 22nd. It'll be the 24th. I think 23rd, 24th. Check your calendar. Anyhow, it's that Tuesday that's right around that time frame, that weekend of the 21st and 22nd. So Stephen is our big winner on that. Congratulations to him. I'm glad that he has decided to actually participate and actually come to the event. If something falls through and Stephen can't make it, we will obviously go into our pool and pull the second place person and, you know, offer them the seat. But at this point, Stephen's gobbled it up. It's all his. And I'm looking forward to meeting him in person and having him here on the studio. So, with that said, looking up at the clock, I'd like to go through. Do we have any good questions tonight? Do you have anything there, JW, you want to throw up? Looking here. Hey, here we go. Jesse Strawn. You know, Jesse, I just watched a video, I think a video 2 days ago, and I watched another one today. I had no idea that Hi-Fi Vega was doing Big 3 upgrade kits, and he is. Jesse says, I got my Hi-Fi Vega Big 3 kit in the mail today. I might have to do a ShamWow-esque infomercial about it soon. I would absolutely do that, Jesse. I had no idea he was doing those, but they look fantastic. Video looks good. Shout out to Hi-Fi. Hey, there he is. Let's bring him up. We won't be taking your customer service calls at Hi-Fi Vega Wire and Accessories either, RVH. So apparently there's a joke there. I need to find out what it is. That's funny. Kicker.fun, R-Rides is the link for tonight. Be sure you go check that out. Just looking for some more comments here. There we go. Brad Manning. Y'all can see that 2011 Blue Cheat GT at the Audio Midwest show. That is true. I forgot to mention that. Thanks for bringing that up, Brad. John will actually be down at that show at Audio Midwest. Billy Temple will be there representing. There'll be a Base Wars event going on there, but John will be there, and he will have the GT there with him as well. So I guess we just kind of let the bag out of one of the owners. But yeah, once you see it here on the video tonight, if you're in the area and want to see it in person, you can swing by and see John and see that car in person at that event down at Audio Midwest on the 15th. Any other comments there, JW? Making you jump through hoops, aren't I? Yeah. Do you have Instagram? I'm just looking for comments here. Here we go. Robert Wilkinson Jr., love Kicker, 43 years old and still have the subs in my truck. Robert, thank you for that, sir. You know, the thing about it is, once you get exposed to a good aftermarket car audio system and you know what it can do and what it can sound like, you know, stock systems today, they've gotten better. I will give them that. They used to be that stock systems were absolutely horrible. Now today they're just not too bad. They're not great, but they're not too bad. But man, you know, once you get the sound and the impact of a good system with some power on it, it's really hard to go back to anything else. I know for me it is. And I'm the guy running around right now with a blown door speaker in the front left of my vehicle, so I need to get that replaced. Scott Williams, there's a good question. Will Kicker be at Knowledge Fest Indy? And that answer would be, JW, have we decided to be at Knowledge Fest Indy? I just got a solid maybe from JW. I know we have talked about it. When we get a firm yes or no, we will share that information here on the show, obviously in our event update, but I know we are talking about being at Indy. Brad Manning already signed up for the kicker training at K-Fest. Awesome, Brad. Looking forward to see you down there. I'll actually be at the one down in Dallas, so looking forward to meeting you and anyone else who might find themselves in the area. Just looking through here for some more questions or anything. Vacation, did you? Vacation, Kip, but you hardly work. Hashtag married to the boss's daughter. Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. You know, the people think, Steve and Becky found that absolutely hilarious. They think that's hilarious. Noah Sub, what you got going on here? I have one kicker solar brake L712 and a single cab Silverado tuned at 34 hertz. Noah, do you like it? We know what you got. How's it sound for you? And of course, Deviant, he can't help himself. He's all about Sandy. Keep in mind, Sandy will be down at the Outlaw Armageddon show, so if you want to meet Sandy in person, that is a place you want to be. I'm looking through here to see if there's anything else in the thing. So, oh, here, I've got it. Brandon Wallace, Solo X release date. You know, we mentioned this on last week's show. We kind of talked about it. We are really, really, really excited to get the L7X out into the field, the 10, the 12, and the 15 of the L7X and the Solo X family. It was supposed to be this year. Not going to pull any punches about it, as you know. I'm actually going to refer to 2020. Someone brought it up to me the other day, and I thought there's no better way to describe 2020 other than they did in the Spider-Man movie, where they call 20, you know, that when everyone's gone and then they reappeared, the blip. So 2020 to me from now on is going to be called the blip. And the blip, you know, it's caused a slowdown, a lot of issues with things. So guys, just keep in mind that we will get the L7X out to you as quick as we can, but just making the products that we currently make is not as fast as we'd like to be right now, and coming out with new products, it's just gotten slower. The good news is I just came out of a listening test earlier today, listing some more prototype stuff and changes we're doing. Man, it's going to be an awesome speaker. You're going to love it. I can tell you that much. But we're shooting for that. We're saying now first quarter of 2022, but we will bring it to market as soon as it's available. So keep tuned. We'll keep all the updates flowing through here on that. Marcus Nance, does Kicker make any amp, sub, and box package? Marcus, that's a good question. Here in the U.S., we don't really make a box amp package. We really leave that up to our dealers or our customer support tech guys upstairs, you know, can give you recommendations. You know, our pre-made enclosures, if you look at that, you take like a Key 501, we make like 14 different enclosures that work really well with a Key 500.1. If you look at the power you need and line it up. So there are lots of options that you can go with. Internationally, we have in the past done some smaller amp woofer combinations, but it's really just been an international thing, especially with the exchange rates in dollars. Sometimes the dollar's too strong that the price is just really expensive for goods, you know, designed here in the U.S. and made here in the U.S. when you take the dollar into account and you do that. So we tend to do some packages like that internationally, but currently here in the States we don't have any. Don't say that we ever wouldn't, but right now we don't. Photo Chris B 931. My first big subsystem was Gold Letter 15. Still have great memories, and the quality of the subs was stellar. Still love the innovation from Kicker. Thank you very much. We certainly appreciate that comment. We are trying all the time to come out with new and innovative things. We're also looking at ways to keep bringing you the products you love. You know, the Comp, that woofer was called the Competition originally today, and today it's called the Comp. That woofer is probably one of the longest running speakers from any company. And every couple of years it gets a refresh, whether it's new technology, new materials, new ways to do it bigger, better, stronger, faster. The Comp's been around for a long time. Mothra B17, can we get a show on Kicker amps topology and how they work? Sure thing. We actually, now that you bring that up, Mothra, in my clipboard of stuff to do, I actually have, let me pull it up here. It's behind my Solo X stuff. Ooh, it's the pillars. You know, I'm just going to show you so you can see, not going to zoom in, but it's the pillars of Kicker amplifier design. And what I'd like to do is possibly get either Colin or maybe Joe Hobart to join us in the studio one evening, and we could talk about, you know, kind of the pillars of Kicker amplifier design. We could actually take a back off of an amp or two and talk about it, and we could answer questions about that. So what you're asking is kind of a show topic we've been dancing around. We'll get it figured out, and yeah, I think you'll see a show like that coming from us in the future. So any other input, please, here on the show or social@kicker.com. Real quick, keep Kevin's comment up. Just let everybody know it's about 7:54. It means you got about 35 minutes, 36 minutes to enter the contest, so be sure you do that. That is going to be kicker.fun/ourrides. Kevin Hare, got the Kicker app but missing the demo music that was on it. Any chance of bringing it back? Got the Kicker app but missing the demo music that was on it. Can I actually admit I don't know what demo music it's on there? Well, I think there was a bass track, wasn't there, Tim? I see Tim over there looking at it right now. He'll tell me in a second. So your app doesn't have the music? Maybe in the update they took it out. Could have been a licensing thing as well. We'll have to look into that. We'll do some research on that. I'll get back to you on that. So, Notorious RVH QSS 2.75 coming soon. You know, RVH, we obviously do the KS, that 2.75 in the KS line, and that's been a very successful speaker for us. Yes, people have asked if we will come out with one to kind of be in the QS line, have the same cosmetics, looks, material, kind of fit that family. We've talked about it. I would say that it's definitely an idea that has come out of this show. It's definitely in our talk about list, so I can tell you that we're discussing it. Will it happen? I can't say if we are or aren't yet, but I can tell you got our attention. GC, I got 2 Kicker CVX on 1,600 watts. It wouldn't change nothing. Looking forward to the Solo X. I need 6 of them. Woo! GC, 6 Solo X's? Brother, you're going to be tearing that vehicle up. I can guarantee it. That's going to be fun. My pillow. Tomcat. Kip, you should put up a sign behind you stating the Solo X release date. That's a good idea. Maybe we'll do something like that. 25 Hertz to Life has always got something. He says, Kip, what's your favorite? My Pillow or Memory Pillows? Well, this is what I can say. I don't own a My Pillow, but I do have a Memory Pillow. I've got a very firm Memory Pillow. I'm a side sleeper. And so far, it's done well for me over the years. I'll tell you what I'm actually thinking about trying, as crazy as it sounds, and just as marketing works, is the Pillow Cube. It looks like this guy invented this cube. I mean, they call it a bed for your head, but it's got more height to it to kind of keep your head propped up between your shoulder distance. And I'm a side sleeper most of the time, so I'm actually thinking about getting a Pillow Cube and giving it a shot. So My Pillow or Memory Foam, I might be a Pillow Cube guy. You never know. We'll check that out. So with that said, I'm just looking here through they'd fit perfect, them cubes. Of course, them cubes. Why not have a pillow in the form of a cube? That works for me, works for a pillow. Yeah, I saw them. Yeah, they're pretty cool. So, yeah, I can maybe give that one a shot. So with that said, we got one here. Clip to bit. I think B might be clip to bit. Kip, what's the release date? Points at sign coming soon. Yeah, you're right. I need to get a sign that goes about right here, and I can just do this, because it is a very common question that people ask about the Solo X or L7X. It's part of the Solo X family, but L7X is the first line of subs coming out. So blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So what I want to do now, keep the comments coming. We'll see if they can come up there. But my first guest tonight, we kind of went through the list tonight, but my first guest is going to be a 2006 Harley-Davidson. I'm just looking to make sure I got it right. Soft-tailed Deluxe. And this bike is actually owned by our very own Jeremy Wynn. And Jeremy will be getting back from out of behind the studio there, and he'll be coming up front. It's actually the bike. A lot of you may have seen it. It's on display here, just about every show in the back here. It'll actually be coming out of the studio here before too long. And I see him creeping up on me over on my right side. JW. And I'm going to give a nod back to Timmy here. Timmy, are we good on the mobile cam?
Yeah.
He's back there.
Maybe.
I
need you
guys to move so I can get the bike in.
Oh. Where do you want me?
Where do you want him? Let me move over here. Bobby B, yo JW, that's JW coming up. He's got a microphone there.
Get your focus, Tim.
So Tim is actually going to be coming in from behind the cameras tonight, so you might get a little bit of view of him in the front, but he's actually got a portable wireless cam, so we can walk over here.
Did you make sure I look good, Tim?
Does he look good? Is he looking good? You good there, Tim?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
What you want to know, Kip?
I know we talked a little bit earlier.
We did.
And am I in the shot? Am I out of the shot?
We can't tell from back here.
I can read it. It says Slappy, Sammy. No, Sapsonite. I got it. So, you know, what's interesting about this is people have asked, what do we have in our rides? And we kind of hand selected 4 to go over here on tonight's show. And with this being in the studio as much as it's been, I figured what better time than ever while it's in the studio to go over this. And this is your personal Harley-Davidson bike.
Yep.
And so forget the audio system for a second. What made you buy this bike? Why did you want this bike? What spoke to you?
So a big part of what spoke to me was the fact that I'm a classic car guy. Before I started in motorcycles, my father-in-law actually got me interested in bikes, but I was really a classic car guy at heart. But after he kind of struck me with the Harley bug and the motorcycle bug, I had to have my own bike. And man, I don't know. This just to me looks like a classic car on 2 wheels.
I couldn't disagree with you on that. The bike is gorgeous. I had an episode in my mid-20s that kind of scared the daylights out of me, and I got off of 2-wheel vehicles, but I still appreciate them to this day. And the bike is beautiful.
Thank you.
And you know, if someone has spent any time with you, they understand that classic car mentality. You own several other vehicles, a classic car being one of them.
Yep.
You also have a slammed or lowered truck that's got some pretty good horsepower under the hood.
Just a little.
Just a little. You and Ernie make some scratch or something there?
We might have.
Might have. So this, if you see this bike, it's like, okay, this is definitely a JW bike. I mean, this definitely from the coloring, the all black with the chrome accents, and then the little bit of pinstriping, a little bit of red, the little bit of color on there that goes along with it. This definitely speaks to who you are as a person. At least I see that.
Yeah.
After working with you now for 5 years.
Yeah. Just over 5 years. But no, you're spot on, Kip. This, like I said, this was my vision. Old hot rod, but on 2 wheels.
So obviously this is your personal vehicle. At some point you made the decision to put an audio system on it, and obviously I remember part of the conversations early on. We go back several years. You were wanting an audio system for you.
Yep.
And I remember some of those conversations we had. And then also it turned out that you found a way that this would also be a great bike to demonstrate the kicker products are available.
Yep.
Because I know at some point you're not necessarily a fan of having the saddlebags on your bike. You prefer the look without it.
Yeah, correct. And so you already said that, you've known me for about 5 years. I've had this bike for 8 years, and it was actually the first go around on this audio system was just before I started here. But I had to have kicker. But with this motorcycle, like I've already said, it had to be classic car look.
Sure.
And to me, that doesn't include a windshield. That doesn't include a big fairing. I didn't want any of that, so I've had to make do with what I had to work with.
So reality is, and what that's the interesting conversations you and I have had over the years, there's not a lot of real estate for you to tuck things onto this bike.
No, not at all. And you'd also brought up that I really, beforehand, I like the bike stripped down, but I have to have music. I love my music. I love having audio. And so I had to figure out how to get it on here. And so I had to think of some pretty interesting ways to make it look right also with the motorcycle.
So tell us what kicker gear you've incorporated into the bike. What products do you have on here?
So in the front headlight buckets, those are our PS 652s, the 6.5-inch 2-ohm speakers. Then, of course, in the saddlebag lids, the kicker saddlebag lids are our 6x9 2 ohms, the Power Sports. I have a Bluetooth 100.2 as my my receiver, audio receiver, and then I have a PX 304 as my primary amplifier that's powering the 4 speakers.
Now, what's cool about this, and I'm not trying to lead the witness, but I'm going to lead the witness a little bit. Over here, obviously, you've got tucked up here, and hopefully Tim will get that on camera.
Yep.
That is actually the controller for the PXI, so you don't even have it on the handlebars. You kind of tucked it there under the seat, so you can reach down, you can access and use it, but it's kind of out of the way.
Yep, correct. Again, it was I wasn't trying to, you know, add something and throw it up on the handlebars, because this was my show bike. I wanted it just kind of hidden away, but where I could still get to it.
Right. So I'm going to, hopefully, we're going to do a dance here with Tim.
Okay.
So on this side of the bike, obviously we saw the controller on that side, and you showed me this earlier, which is pretty cool. So if you look at the bike, it's like, okay, well, where you have everything. So let's start here. This is where you put the controller for the PXI 100 BT, correct?
Yep. And actually, let me grab the keys real quick, and I'll kind of show you little bit of what it took to kind of stuff that thing in there. I actually had to add this toolbox just for some other location whenever I added the Bluetooth 100.2. But yeah, you can see that it took a little bit of finesse on the body of that 100.2 to be able to get it in there, but it fits.
You know, after knowing you for 5 years, besides being a classic car enthusiast, besides being really a DIY guy who likes, you know, fabricating and machining and coming up with things from complete scratch, and obviously you found a way to take a toolkit and turn it into a holder for a PXI amplifier.
Yep.
The cans that you talked about in the front, and I'm sure Tim already got some good shots on those are actually headlight cans that you turned into speaker pods.
Yep, they are. So those are 5 3/4 inch headlight buckets that I just ordered, like their drag specialty headlight buckets, and then I wanted that sunk down recessed look, so those are rings that allow that speaker to sit down in there, make it look like it sits down in there. But I had to do quite a bit of work to be able to make those look the way they did with mounting those speakers in there.
I remember when you were doing those, and there's a lot of fabrication work that you put into that to get that. I mean, that looks literally like an off the production line part that someone's tooled up and made, and it's a one-off that you assembled.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have accepted any less.
No.
There were quite a bit of attempts, and but so yeah, like the headlight, the rings themselves, I actually ended up pouring a plastic compound that I was able to then drill and tap to be able to mount those speakers into those rings.
So to say you are a classic enthusiast, cars and bikes obviously, and you're also got that kind of OCD perfectionist side to you?
Just maybe a little.
It's okay, I do too. It's not a bad thing. The bike is absolutely gorgeous. It's amazing to me how you got things tucked in there, but you said you got the PXI 100 BT, but then you also said you've got a 304 amplifier?
Yep. So
where?
Once again, I had to put it somewhere, and I know you had asked me earlier, well, why didn't you opt for the saddlebags? Well,
sure.
Like I said, whenever you had made the comment that I like this bike, the look of it stripped down, and I do. So whenever I set it up and added the hard bags, I wanted to still have the option to be able to remove the bags. So the amplifier is actually up at the bottom of the frame, just behind the front wheel, in a tool bag down there tucked away, the 304. I've had this same audio system now, not this identical one. It's kind of been in the works, and I've been adding to it. But that 304 has been down there for over 5 years now, and I've never had any issues. That thing just hums along.
Wow. Jeremy, I got to tell you, the bike is gorgeous. And what you've added to it, it doesn't take away from anything on the bike. If anything, what you've done is you found a way to incorporate the audio system so that it not only enhances the bike, but looks like it came with the bike.
That's right, and that was my whole goal.
Job well done. It looks fantastic. Now, I know, as we said earlier to everyone out in the audience, is we have to be real careful about what music we can play here because we don't want to get the copyright police against us. So what we've got is some copyrighted to us music that we downloaded and paid for. It's basically royalty-free music. It's a service we pay for. So I know you've got a couple tracks on here.
Yeah.
Let's fire it up and just play it.
Sure.
And of course, I don't know what you guys will get from the microphones that we have on. It might overload them, might drive them too hard, but at least give you an idea of how the bike sounds. Wow, you know, it's very difficult, and hopefully you guys get out there, get an idea through the microphones we're in. I know it's not like being here, but that bike, for a pair of 6x9s and a pair of 6.5-inch drivers, open air, it has bass response.
Oh, yeah.
And I can just imagine going down the highway, the way you've got this angled and the way you've got set up, it probably is crystal clear at highway speeds.
Yeah, not a problem. Before I had actually, the first go around on this, I had used a set of our KM, our Marine 6.5s. And, you know, as you know, those drivers aren't neo-magnets, and they're encased, and so they were choking a ton of airspace in the front, but that's all I was running. And I had them bridged on a 304. How I have this one set up with the 6x9s and the 6.5s in the front, I have no problem 70 miles an hour going down the road without a windshield, hearing what's playing on the radio.
You know, and you've got these on here. The thing, when it comes to two-wheel power sports, we make a line of speakers, and these are part of that line. They are power sports speakers. And one of the things these speakers are is they are designed to be lightweight, neo-magnets on the smaller drivers.
Yep.
They're also designed to be very efficient, because the one reality on a bike, if someone is really driving a bike on a daily basis, a real bike you're going to use every day, you have a very limited charging system, and you got a very limited battery system. And, you know, I've seen guys do these big outlandish bikes, but the only way they can play them is to find an AC outlet and plug them in.
Yep.
It's because they're not designed to work on the actual electrical system in the bike. This is designed to work on that electrical system on your bike.
Oh, correct.
So the speakers are very efficient. They get you very loud. That 75 watt by 4 amplifier is more than enough to get those speakers up to the volume you need at road
Oh,
speed.
yeah, for sure.
Well, this is gorgeous. Hopefully you guys got a great idea of how it sounds through the microphones. We do the best we can to get that out to you. But this is the 2006 Harley-Davidson Softail Deluxe.
Yep.
I get that right?
You got it right.
I called it a Nickelback Swan Head or something earlier. I can't remember. I got it completely wrong, but okay. But the bike is gorgeous. Jeremy, thank you for allowing us to use this in the studio. I mean, people obviously, they've noticed this in the video.
Yep. It's
a gorgeous looking bike, and you should be very proud of what you've put together here, because not only does it sound good, that's the audio side, but the bike looks fantastic. And you'd mentioned earlier, you can take the saddlebags off if you choose.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's, you know, as you know, it's all plug and play, just like all of our just factory upgrade kits that we offer for Harley-Davidson. That's technically what this is one of our factory kits just on a Softail and kind of custom put on. Everything's plug and play, so the saddlebags can just be unbolted, removed, unplug where the speaker connections are, and I don't have to have the rear saddlebags. So,
gorgeous vehicle.
Thank you.
Thank you for walking us through it. I appreciate it. Is there anything you'd like to add to it before we move on?
I don't think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Mr. Jeremy Wynn, or as we call him here in the studio, JW. Thank him for going through on his bike. If you have any questions, throw those into the feed. He'll actually be going back, so he'll see those in the feed. He can maybe answer those for you. If you want anything more detailed, like no more information, you can ask in the feed, or you can reach out to social@kicker.com. And with that said, we're going to get mobile, because we've got 3 more vehicles we want to talk about, and they are just outside the studio here in the warehouse. So we're going to change the view. We're going to move into the warehouse, and we're going to go there right now.
Thanks, Kip.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Go to 2. Yes, sir.
Sit tight at 2 for a second.
So Timmy is going, I'm going to go over here and look at the comment feed real quick. Timmy's actually going into the warehouse to get the camera turned on. It's a wireless camera setup that we have in the warehouse. Take care of this. I'm going to see if there's any. Hey, Schmedium. Corey Britt needs a Schmedium. Here in Iowa too, Thomas, thank you. JW, see you. Here in Iowa, nice bike. Thanks for that comment, Andrew. Send it to my house. We can do a photo shoot of my Beardy on it. Well, maybe if you ask him nicely, he could drive to your house. They could do a photo shoot. I don't know. Sweet bike, Jesse. Yeah, it is a great looking bike. I was really glad that JW agreed to be on camera and talk about it. It's a fantastic system. It sounds good. Hopefully you could see in all the video that we showed, his attention to detail and what he's built onto that bike is second to none. It literally looks like it came off of the Harley-Davidson showroom with that system on there. He's done such a fantastic job integrating that. So, yeah, thank you for that. Blah, 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 blah. The Curtis Tinker, the Kicker 6x9s I have in my truck sound great. They really have great lows as well as awesome highs. They certainly crank. Thank you for that shout out. We appreciate it. Kick, put a bike in the giveaway. Not that bike, but a good idea. By the way, I like the Quadzilla in the back of the Fiat. I'm getting ideas for my Fiat 500T. You know, we put that in there just kind of a running joke. We just thought, let's put it in the Fiat so people could see the quad box in the Fiat, but we're actually going to put that in the Fiat and make it operational. Look for video of that soon. That's going to be really cool, and I think it'll show its debut at Knowledge Fest in Dallas. So if you're coming to Knowledge Fest in Dallas, you'll get to see that there. It's going to be really cool. We got some great ideas how we're going to do that. I have older 6x8 speakers, blah, blah, blah. Need to build a trailer for the Softail with a quad box on it. Hey, Jesse, I agree. That would be pretty cool. Hey, Scott from Power Hog. Good shot there. Good to see you tonight, Scott. Insane bike. Yeah, Scott, it's a fantastic bike. I know Jeremy's proud of it, and it was really nice of him to spend some time going over it with us. I appreciate that. So, Ernie, are we mic'd up and ready out on cam in the warehouse? We're ready? All right, I'm going to just see if there's a few more comments here real quick. Everyone, it is now, according to the clock here on the wall, about 8:17. That means you got about 13 minutes to enter tonight's contest. If you haven't done so, be sure you get that done before 8:30 Central Time. If you're just tuning into the feed, it's kicker.fun/rrides is how you enter the contest for tonight. You got until 8:30 to enter that. And so I'm going to grab this mic, and I'm going to head out in the warehouse, and we're going to see the other 3 vehicles we got ready for you guys to see. Come on, let's go take a look. After I get a drink. Volare, whoa, whoa, Doctare, oh, ho, ho, ho. I need to turn this volume down or I'm gonna go crazy. Let me turn this down. Okay, so, are we here? Are we live? Insane bike. Bill Frog. Cool cam view. Hey, Thomas, so what Ernie is, he's on the overhead camera. That's actually a view from behind production out into the full studio, and he's brought that up while I wander out here into the warehouse and we get set up here. So it is a pretty cool camera view. A lot of people just don't see that and understand what goes on behind the scenes, so we thought it'd be pretty cool to do that. And I'm getting my iPad here set up. After I get a Hey Jay, Kip, after I get a drink, where are you hiding that margarita? Shh, Jay, it's a secret, don't tell. So there is, and I notice, hey, I can see everyone out there. There is a little bit of a buzz out here in the warehouse. Hopefully it's not too bad. I don't know how much of it you're picking up, but unfortunately there is a large transformer up above our head here that takes the high voltage coming in the building and knocks it down here in this section of the warehouse. So I apologize for that buzz. Maybe as I step away from this transformer, we get back into the vehicles, that'll go away a little bit. But behind me here, as you can see, we've got the rest of our guests who are joining us tonight. And I'm going to step to the side of the camera here just a second. As you can see, we have our own Tim Smith back there with his Chevy. Next to him, we have our own Chase Alexander with his Z71 Tahoe and the quad box. And last but certainly not least, our own in-house John Myers with his 2011. I want to make sure because I've seen 12 and 13, so it is an 11. And it is a Chevy Mustang. No, a Ford Camaro. No, wait. It's a Ford Mustang. It's a Ford Mustang. It's one of those. Which with GT. What's the GT stand for? Get towed. No. All kidding aside, I like to give John a hard time. But these are the 3 other vehicles we brought into the house tonight. And so what I thought we would do is we're going to let Tim off the hook, get him back here behind the camera so he can run the mini handy cam. And we will move over to John Myers. We'll get John knocked out of the way first real quick. Then, well, we'll knock you out, but we're going to knock out the view of your vehicle. And then once we get John taken care of, we're going to move over to the quad box. That'd be back with Mr. Chase Alexander. And Chase, you can stay there at the vehicle. You can whatever you feel like doing. You're fine wherever you're at. And then last but not least, once we get those taken care of, then I will take the portable camera from Timmy and we will go over his vehicle, which is an absolute gorgeous slam to the ground, full-size 1500. Tim is very proud of that vehicle, as all of these guys are of their vehicles. He spent a lot of time modifying that and getting it to the point that he likes it. And Tim goes to a lot of shows, not just for Kicker, but on his own. Tim really enjoys that lifestyle. So with that said, I'm going to point at my camera guy, Tim. He looks like he's ready. I think he's ready. I'm going to back away from the camera here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this with me so I can read comments as we come over here to John. Mr. John Myers.
Kip, how you doing tonight?
Doing well. How are you, sir?
Long time no see.
I'm going to give you the microphone. It's already on and unmuted, so now you're ready to go. Just hold it up as you want to talk. So, John, kind of the same thing that I asked JW. Why this car? What attracted you to owning this Mustang?
Well, it actually was something kind of interesting. You know, of course, working for Kicker, we get a lot of, kind of company perks. We had a 2012 Camaro, 2012 Mustang, 2012 Challenger. Well, got to drive both of them all 3 of them, several thousand miles. And I kind of narrowed down the Mustang for, a couple reasons. First of all, the Mustang's got a little nicer interior than the Challenger did, because that was all plastic. The Camaro, just no back seat room whatsoever. But what it really boiled down to was 8-inch woofers in the doors.
You like that stock location?
Yep. So that, mid-bass up front, because that's the one thing you don't get a lot of time is really good mid-bass in a car. You get a lot of sub-bass, a lot of mids and highs, but I really like a good mid-bass, and I thought, well, hey, why not have a set of 8s in the doors from the factory and just upgrade them from there?
Okay, so basically you like the ride of the car, you like the interior of the car, but really the selling point for you was audio based, as you like that stock 8-inch location up front.
Yep. In fact, people gave me a hard time. The house we just sold and built the house around the audio system.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope, that's what I'm doing again.
There's nothing wrong with that. All right, so obviously you bought the car. Obviously you put different wheels and tires on it.
Oh yeah, these are actually kind of limited edition. In fact, limited edition to 3 sets in the world.
Really?
Yep, these are from HE Forged. Our good buddy Rick Semeny made 3 sets. I got one, he got one, and another set went on a car that was in the Ford booth. So they are very limited edition. They're 9-inch by 19 in the front and 10-inch by 19 in the back. And just absolutely, they're 3-piece forged wheel, extremely light, but like I say, I really like the style, and we've added the little blue stripes around the little wheel bands to protect the wheels, and they actually do a really good job. Those wheel bands actually saved the right front wheel when a lady decided to merge into my car while I was not moving, and that actually protected that really rare wheel. So without that, it probably wouldn't be on the car anymore.
So when you say they're rare wheels, it's literally one of 3 sets in existence.
So I don't think that he could ever reproduce them. They were, custom, built that, was a prototype. And then, of course, got a compressor going off in the back room. And
for those of you who didn't think the buzz was enough, now we got an air compressor in the back that fired up. So, hey, we got all sorts of extraneous noises going on here tonight.
Yep. So just for fun, we've changed a few things. The rotors have a little insignia on them. That's R1 Concepts on the rotors and the brake pads, and the little caliper covers have Q-Class stamped into them. So that's MGP caliper covers with Q-Class logo actually stamped into the cover.
That, John, I have never noticed that until you just point out that has the Q-Class logo in the caliper.
So this is our Q-Class demo, and I really took everything to the extreme. In fact, you'll see the license plate is Q-Class also, and the floor mats. So.
Okay, so where do you want to start? Do you want to start in the cabin, or you want to start in the trunk?
You tell me where you want to start.
Let's start in the cabin. Since you talked about 8-inch mid-base drivers to begin with, let's see what you've got going on here in the vehicle.
Let's see if we can get Tim around here with a camera. So first of all, when you look in the car, it looks fairly stock. I wanted to keep the stock look. So that is actually the stock outer ring on the 8-inch driver, but not the original grille. I took our L7 woofer grills and I repressed the 8-inch Comp RT woofer grills, so they're going to match the woofer grills in the trunk. So kind of tie everything together. If you notice, we took just a little bit of blue onto the dash. One of my really good friends, Eric French at Wicked Racing, has painted every inch of this car at least once, and you can't tell it. There's not a seam anywhere. He's just an amazing painter.
Wow.
But we wanted to just bring a little bit of blue into the car without getting gaudy. And if you notice, it's still got the stock radio in it.
I was just going to mention that. It looks like you stayed with the stock head unit.
And that's one of the things we brag about with our amplifiers. They integrate exceptionally easy with any OEM or aftermarket head unit. So you don't have to have a real expensive line output converter. In fact, in this car, there are no line output converters. It's speaker level right into the Q-Class amplifiers. And it works phenomenal.
And I noticed you say, you bring in a little bit, I love that touch of blue that you've done in that dash beauty panel. But I also noticed you brought some blue LED lighting not only into the sill plates, but also under the dash into the footwell area.
Well, you know me. I'm into lighting. Always have been.
You're into lighting like Tokyo's into lighting. You're into lighting. I know you, John.
And here's the little subtle known hint. That's factory in the car. The other reason I bought the car. I didn't have to do it.
You didn't have to do it. It was already there.
And it's color changing. I actually changed the color of the gauges on the dash, the sill plates, the under dash lighting. So it's full RGB lighting. Right from Ford. So it's the GT Premium. So it's a little step up from the basic GT.
So stock head unit, so obviously that is all stock there, but you said besides the driver and the door, which you said was an RT, correct?
Yep, so it's an RT, 8-inch.
What else is in the front of the vehicle speaker-wise?
We have QSS 674s in the stock locations, coaxially mounted. They're running off a bridged IQ 1005, so approximately 300 per channel on the doors at 4 ohms.
Okay.
Plenty of power. And then in the pillars, I've sunk another QSS tweeter, which is running at ultra high frequency. It's running about 12K and up.
Oh, I see that right up. I'd never noticed them before, but.
So I kind of call this psychoacoustics. It's such a high frequency, you really can't even hear them, but your eyes see them, so they think that's where your sound is coming from. Helps bring that sound stage up.
True.
And actually, even though you can't really hear it, consciously, your brain will hear it, and it's kind of like throwing your voice. GM did a study about putting piezo tweeters in the headliner, and it actually helps bring the stage up. So it kind of psychoacoustics, just kind of for fun. And like I say, they do add a little bit. You got to show some of the product in the car, even though most of it's hidden.
Now I know it's hard to see with the tinted windows or anything, but what do you have in the rear, if anything?
I have another set of QSS 674, just because.
Just because.
In fact, they're not even turned on. I never turn them on. I never play rear speakers, but just in case I ever had someone in the back and they wanted to hear something, we can play it.
Got it. So now, Tim already popped the trunk open for us. Let's move around to the trunk. I'm going to grab my iPad here so I can see.
So if you notice, it's kind of dark back here in the trunk.
It's really, John, this isn't your style at all.
Yeah, we don't have any trunk lights. So we had to add a little bit.
Whoa.
So you see two IQ 1001s.
Okay, seriously, I got it. Folks, seriously, this is the first time that I've seen John's trunk lit up. Now, I've seen your trunk, I've seen you working on it, I've seen it in the back, but this is quite literally the first time I've seen it lit up. John, this is gorgeous, brother.
It's fun.
Oh, man.
And in fact, I've got another little trick up the sleeve. So should you want to, you can add some more ambient lighting in white or blue. So you get your options, kind of whatever mood you happen to feel. I didn't want to go the full RGB lighting. White or blue is all this car really needs.
this, man, John, this is clean. I mean, so you asked what we have in our rides, and you can see this is why we picked John to be one of the first 4 cars we go over, because this is a really over-the-top installation, the attention to detail, the integration, the car itself. This is definitely over the top. So, John, I can see from looking at the front, you've got the Q-Class crossovers, the passive crossovers on display. There's kicker amp distribution wiring up in front of that. But then tell me, what amplifiers are in here and what subwoofers are you running?
Okay, so there's 2 IQ 1001s, each one driving one of the Q-Class L710s.
Okay.
So about 1,200 watts per 10.
Okay, 1,200
So plenty of power. I'm all about the power. You got to have enough power.
Sealed, ported?
It is sealed, so the whole floor well of the car has been fiberglassed. Actually, more or less Duraglass. So in this car, there's 3 ultra bulk packs of hush mat. So, there's a ton of sound dampening material. And on top of that, I separated the fender well, or the spare tire well, and I used 2 gallons of Duraglass to reinforce the fender or the spare tire well to make sure it was a rock solid enclosure. So once again, they are separate separate chambers for the front and rear woofer. So plenty of power. We've got the 2 excess power batteries up front, strapped down. Like I say, it takes power to make power, so you got to have everything to back it up.
Man, just absolutely gorgeous, John. Just I mean, this is the first time I've seen it put together and lit up like this, John. It's gorgeous, John.
Oh, I love it. It's fun. Now, the subtle details like you talk about that make everything worth it. If you notice the grills on the L7, as we mentioned, I took those same grills for the Q-Class, and I repressed the front grills. But more importantly, like I did with the inside of the car, kind of tie everything together. And you probably can't see this really well by the cameras, but around all the amplifiers, around the crossovers, and around the woofers, there's actually a strip of chrome-plated aluminum that's 1/4 inch thick, so it gives that same appearance as the bezels on the gauges on the dash. So everything has the same theme throughout the car.
Robert Hi-Fi Vega, I see a question. He says, all I need to know is if Courtney Hanson has sat in that car or not.
No, actually, she hasn't. Not yet, but she will.
We just broke your heart, Hi-Fi. Sorry about that.
She has sat in her company minivan many times.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. So
she likes to go out and listen to kicker music after we get done filming on the set. So it's been a lot of fun. She will actually go out and we'll sit for 2 or 3 hours listening to music.
So Thomas Marshall might go a little bigger on the amp. Just want to hear it first. I'm sure.
Well, the other 2 amplifiers are IQ 1005s. So one IQ 1005 is bridged into a 3-channel, so it's running the sets of door speakers at 300 a channel. Well, then the 500 watts of sub power for that amplifier is actually running mid-bass to 1 door. The other IQ 1005 is in 5-channel mode. It's run the tweeters and the pillars at 12K and up.
Okay.
It runs the rear fill whenever they happen to be on.
Right.
And it runs the other mid-bass driver.
And then another comment here real fast. Brad Manning just posted that this car will be at the show at Audio Midwest in Edmond on August 15th. So yes, Brad, you're seeing it here in video, but if you happen to be in the Oklahoma City area or you're going to be attending that show at Audio Midwest, or if you were thinking about going, here's another incentive to go check it out, is John will be there in person. You can ask him any question you want about kicker audio related products, and more importantly, you can see this in person, and I'm sure John will definitely give you a demo.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what it's for. I mean, there's a big difference between a show car and a demo car, and we kind of like to use demo cars. That's what they're for. They're meant to be driven and listened to.
You drive this all the time, and so I know you're right. There's demo cars. Show cars typically live in a trailer. They never get on the road. They're just a trailer queen. I know you drive this vehicle, and I'm going to.
Sometimes harder than I should.
Wasn't there a small animal that met the front of your car one evening?
Yes. Actually, Bill Frog was accompanying me in El Dorado, Texas at midnight on a Sunday, heading to Kansas to do Q-Class training, come over hill with the cruise control set on, we'll just call it 80.
Call it 80.
We relocated a raccoon for about 2 miles, and it lived.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I have pictures. It actually lived and ran away when the tow truck showed up because it took the whole front end out of the car.
We'll have to get those pictures and put them on the show next week or after that, but he does have pictures of this raccoon is literally embedded into the front of the vehicle, looking out like, what am I doing here? I think I need to go away, but he did a little bit of damage to the vehicle.
Yeah, $5,400. So Eric got to repaint some more of the car.
So John, I've already seen it here. People are asking, I'm in it too. Let's figure out how we're gonna do this. Let's fire this thing up and play it. People want to hear it.
All right, we can sure do that.
So what we're gonna do, folks, we will get John in the driver's seat, and either I'll take the passenger seat and I'll take the camera, or I'll get Timmy to sit in there.
Kip, why don't you get in the driver's seat?
No,
I've been in the driver's seat all the time.
Well, you got to be in there to operate it.
I'll get in the passenger seat.
Okay.
Jump on in.
Okay, well. All right, so, man, this.
I share. I play nice.
I'm afraid to put my feet on the
floor
don't. Mats.
Those are Q-Class floor mats. Those are from Matworks. Our buddy Matt Gelb made those for us. So I suppose we're going to need some keys. And by the way, Kip, I'll let you know that some of your tracks are not working on this USB drive.
Well, as long as we get some that work.
Oh, yeah, there's some of them definitely work. So.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do while we're in the car. I'm going to mute my microphone.
Yeah, because he probably won't need it.
Yeah, because you've got one there and this is plenty. So everyone, I think we're coming to you from this camera over here. So we're in John's Mustang that has a full Q-Class system in it. We've got the one microphone in here. I'm gonna get a few tracks and play them, get on a little bit. The car is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really meant to stage extremely well. I mean, there's a ton of power, and that's all for the clarity.
I'm adjusting the seat to how I like it because I might drive it home.
Yeah, and I'll let you.
He would let me. That's John. He really would let me.
So I like large sealed boxes. Those boxes are probably a cube and a quarter, a cube and a half per 10 with 1,200 watts on each one. So it is very smooth, very deep, and really accurate sounding. And it's got good mid-bass up front.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn up a little bit, and then I'll turn it back down, and then I'll get on it a little bit harder.
It's got more than that.
I know.
It's got a lot more than that.
All right, here, let me take a mic from you. All right, so, I know it's hard for you guys to hear how something sounds through a microphone. I get it. But when you get in a car and you start turning it up and you start getting those goosebumps and it just sounds good and tight and clean, that's exactly what's going on here. So I'm going to get stupid with the volume knob for a second. So if I overdrive the microphone, I apologize in advance. So give this back to John.
So you're at half volume.
Dude.
It's not exactly a sound quality track, is it?
No, but it's a sound giggly track.
It makes your nose itch. I mean, it's those 210s for even sealed, that much power, they sound incredible.
Man, John.
And this track is so tight. I mean, like someone's kicking you right in the back. Keep going.
That thing's loud. That's crazy.
And, you know, it's having the hush mat really helps because on the doors, not only is there 2 layers on the outside of the door, there's 2 layers on the inside of the door, and then the door panel's done too. So that's what gives it its clean sound. And you tap on the outside of the doors, they sound like wood.
Now, I know Tim's over there on the mobile camera, and maybe when I get out here, you can come get a little more close-up, or maybe you already showed it, but now that it's lit up, I see you've got the Q-Class bass controller knob right down here on the bottom of the dash.
Yep.
And that lets you adjust not only the gain of the amplifiers that are doing the bass, but also lets you adjust the center frequency and the bass boost and the
and
Q
the bandwidth,
of an EQ.
yeah. Yep.
So it's basically a single-band parametric EQ that's on board.
Yep.
John, I'm going to open up and let Tim come get a view of this. God, jeez, John.
It's loud.
Maybe you get that bass controller lit up. I just thought that was pretty cool the way
And I had aspirations of putting that somewhere else, but I never really found another good spot to put it. There's just not any real estate you could steal. See it there, Tim?
Right here.
Oh, yeah, you can. So that allows us to turn both of those 1,005 amps up and down. So as you can see, we lost all the bass output. We push it. Now you have a bass boost, which I always leave down. You have a center frequency adjustment, and then you have a bandwidth, how wide of a band around that center frequency. So I usually leave the bass boost flat just for sound quality.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas.
It's got
okay,
enough.
John.
All right, where are we at?
So, obviously, we've gone through the trunk, we've looked at the interior, we sat in and listened to it, and John, no, that car sounds gorgeous. It
almost sounds as good as the exhaust.
It almost.
That sounds good.
It's just, it's that real
tight.
quick, tight. I mean, I love the way it sounds. It's a beautiful sounding vehicle. And then under the hood here, it looks like you've gone overboard as well. This is gorgeous.
Yep. Well, once again, I turned Eric loose and said, hey, I want the valve covers painted, I want the engine cover, I want the strut painted. Then, of course, we had to add the supercharger. Since we added so much weight to the car, we had to get it back up, into speed. And then if you want it to light up, just like everything else.
Why, of course. Why?
It's got to light up. In fact, I don't know if you could see, but there's white LEDs in the intake runners. There's red LEDs under the valve covers. There's blue all around the engine bay. There's blue actually in the grill and in the little fenders.
I'm going to go grab the iPad real quick, see if I can. I'm sure people are making tons of comments or have questions. John, your car, it's over the top.
It's kind of that midlife crisis. I mean, there's very little I haven't touched on this car other than the seats. I mean, the suspension is all white line control arms, control arm relocators, and sway bars. It's all Ride Tech adjustable coilover shocks. So it's designed to run.
Believe it or not, our good friend and the creator of your one of a three kind wheel set, Mr. Rick Simney's on the feed.
I figured he would be.
He is. He says, I need all of this, just my speed. Yep. Well, Rick, we know you. This is definitely right up your alley.
Well, one of the other things that we got to give Rick credit for, the little side scoops and little quarter windows are also Shelby prototypes that were a generous gift from Rick as well. So, in fact, if you actually saw the airbrushing inside those vents, that looks like real wire mesh. That's some of Eric's talent with airbrush. Absolutely
it is gorgeous,
incredible.
Isn't it, Brad? I mean, yeah, this is a gorgeous vehicle. And you can see definitely now why this is one of the 4 vehicles we wanted to get on the show tonight. And understand, this is not a Kicker demo vehicle. This is not a Kicker show vehicle. This is an employee's car. This is John Myers. He's one of our John and I were actually hired at the same time. John and I will tell that story at another episode. But John and I have worked here now for going on 25 years.
October will be 25 years for both of us.
It will be. And so it's been a fun ride. John and I both enjoyed it. But this is the passion that John has, not only for cars and high-performance cars, but high-performance car audio. And John is all about it. And John, this is the first time, honestly, I think I've seen your car all put together. Because usually when you have it here, you're working on it or changing something. Or
try to freshen it up and make it, current relevant.
John, this is crazy.
You talk about, buying the car and, what made me buy this. And actually, I kind of knew I was going to get a Mustang. And I rode in the back of a 2012 Mustang GT on the Hot Rod Power Tour. I rode in the back seat for 2,500 miles, and it was comfortable. In fact, that's the other reason I bought the Mustang, is there's more room in the back seat than the Challenger or the Camaro. But I kept telling the wife how much I liked the Mustang, and I got home from the Power Tour on a Friday night. She said, well, the kids have moved out. You've always wanted one. Let's go get one. So at 2 o'clock the next day, I had a check written for this car. I didn't want to let her change her mind, so. Now she won't drive it. She's scared of it.
So,
scared
Jerome,
to wreck it.
And I said this is your car, personal car. This isn't a Kicker. So Jerome asked, John, did you buy all the system components? And I'm sure you purchased everything. We do have an employee purchase program for us here at the company. And as far as I know, you've bought everything that's gone in there.
Yep, more or less.
Yeah, so Jerome, he did buy everything that went into this car. We do have a purchase program, so as employees, we get a discount to buy stuff and put it in our own vehicles, which is good. But John, I don't know what else to. I'm blown away seeing it all put together and lit up, and after listening to it like that, I'm blown away, John.
Well, we're going to blow you away a little farther. I think after we're done tonight, you need to go drive it.
I think I need to put my right foot into the long pedal.
With the Vortex supercharger, it's not super powerful. It dynoed at 455 at the rear wheels, so enough to get it down the road.
Okay, so with that said, John,
Let's move along.
I'm going to steal the mic from
Thanks,
you.
Kip.
John.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, brother. That is an amazing, amazing, amazing vehicle. I'm going to step over here. I don't know where I'm at camera-wise. I think I'm right here. So I hope, let me mute this one because I got my pellet on here. I hope everyone enjoyed that run through of Mr. John Myers, his Ford Mustang GT. And as you can see, the man definitely has a passion for automobiles. He has a passion for performance. He has a passion for high performance audio. And he wants it to not only sound good, he wants it to look good. And if you are in the area, and if you can go down to Edmond on the 15th, I highly encourage you to visit because you have to see this car in person. It is an amazing vehicle, and it sounds and looks and feels just as, I mean, I think I could literally eat off of the engine compartment. It's that clean. So, John, fantastic job, brother. Thank you so much. So, let's go to our next contestant. I'm going to give you the microphone. Put my iPad here so we can see questions. Let me get out of your way. Come here and join me. Don't just. Okay.
What's going on, guys?
So now we're going to shift gears, so to speak. And you're not that old, Chase. How are you, like 12?
17 and a half.
17?
No, I'm just kidding.
Did you just start growing the...
Oh, I can barely still grow anything. I don't know what you're talking about. You got to do a close-up on that to see anything, but... I
have to make fun of him like that because, you know, John and I, you know, we're kind of old school. We've been around a while, but you are a young buck. I mean, you are what I would consider our maybe our young first-time customer. He's kind of following the current trends. You maybe don't want to take and spend all the time or the money.
Never.
Like John has to create something like this. Not that you can't appreciate it, but
no, I love that car, man. I helped them actually put on the supercharger on that thing and talk about if you want a drop-in supercharger kit, those guys are the way to go because that thing was fun to install.
And what hey, John, or do you know what it is? The supercharger?
I can take a look real quick. It's a Vortec, you know, the best ones.
The best ones. So now we're going to shift gears a little bit. We've gone from something that is, you know, a trailer queen worthy vehicle, but it's driven every day for fun. And now we're going to go to a young guy who literally drives his car every day for transportation, fun, everything else. And so what have you got here? What's your vehicle first, and why do you have the vehicle?
So this is my 2003. Yeah, that is 18 model years old. And it is a Chevrolet Tahoe Z71. You can't regret or miss the Z71. That's what you're paying for pretty much. I love these trucks. I actually had a 97 two-door Tahoe Z71 in high school, and it was blue. It was like 4 inches lifted, 20s, 33s, all that stuff. And guess what I had in it?
What'd you have?
Kicker subs. I had 2 Comp 15s, and big power, 500 watts on them. Big power, big numbers. Home install, wrong gauge power wire, for sure.
Well, but everybody starts somewhere. I mean, you wake up and you don't know many of these things in life. You have to learn them as you go.
Oh, yeah.
And fortunately, you're in the right environment to learn anything you want about car audio here.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously, daily driver, your car, let's be honest, you like it loud, right?
Oh, I have to have it loud. Like my ears can barely register like a little 6-inch sub, barely. Like,
so you want big and you want loud.
Yeah, I need it all. I'm greedy. I'm really greedy with this vehicle. So yeah, like I said, it's my daily. It does so many different things. This thing is literally like this quad box looks like it's here forever. It's stuck there. It's not. This thing can come in and out in 10 minutes tops.
So if you do need to come out, it can.
Yep.
So you can use it for whatever else you need to.
Yep. It's got to be versatile. It's got to do it all for me. I do not like to settle, honestly.
So let me ask you, were you one of the first people to get a quad box? Were you in line at the beginning? Did you have to wait for a while to get it? I mean, how did you get it? Because right now we don't have any. So how did you get a quad box?
Well, this might or might not be the prototype.
Might or might not be?
It's definitely the prototype.
So this is the prototype quad box.
Yep.
And it's found a way into your vehicle.
Yep.
To get tested some more.
Oh, yeah. And it's been a very successful test so far. Like, it's, I don't want to say how many years, but we're coming up on years of pounding on this thing right now.
Well, and the thing is, even though the product's, just been on the market a relatively short time, when he's talking about having it in there, he had it in as it was a prototype before it was even a product available to buy. So you've been pounding on this thing for a while.
Oh, yeah. This has already been in 2 different vehicles. So I'm crazy. I like to change vehicles about every year. Well, hopefully I keep this one a little longer. But like we said, I'm 27. I've had 18 vehicles in the last 11 years. So I do have a problem.
Man, that's more vehicles than I've had.
You're lucky, because my bill on vehicles is through the roof right now. Trust me.
So quad box prototype that you've been testing for a while.
Yep.
What amp are you using to run that?
I got the KX 2400 on it and all the supporting mods. You guys know what I'm talking about. Big 3, 2 batteries, XS 3400s, a Mechman 400 amp alternator, and it's pretty legit as is. I mean, I kind of went a little overkill on it, but that's what you would do here.
That's what you would do here.
We go overkill to be ready for the future.
So Tim, have you got some close-ups of that in there? So as you can see, we've got the quad box in there, and like you said, you can take it out if you need to. So if you need the space, you can pull it out, leave it in the garage, and do what you need to do.
Which I also do test lots of other prototype boxes for the company, since I'm one of the only guys that's willing to give up the trunk space and everything. Yeah, this thing's had so many different sub setups and amp setups in it, so it's literally ready to come in and out whenever possible, whenever needed. We can throw a 12, 112, 412s, 812s, whatever we can possibly fit in this thing, and it'll work. I have it set up to where we can just undo a couple little Allen key bolts, and we are ready to go.
So Bobby B, he asked, he said, Kip, what he's running for juice, and I think you already answered that question sort of. You said a Mechman 400 amp alternator.
Yep, Mechman 400.
And then 2 XS Power D3400s?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yep.
So dual batteries up front, upgraded alternator, big 3 upgrade, 1-aught power to the back. So fully set up. Matter of fact, is the hood open? Can you show the alternator?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go around and take a look at the alternator. Since Bobby asked, let's just go take a look at it. So we'll walk around here to the front of the vehicle. Since you asked the question there, Bobby, we'll get up here and you can take a look. So it's got a Mechman there. You can see, hopefully there's enough light there that you can see it, but it's a Mechman 400 amp alternator. It's got the pair of D3400s. He's got kicker 1-aught wire, obviously connecting everything together, kicker fusing, 1-aught to the back, full setup on here. And so really, you know, the reason we wanted to have you in on the show, obviously John's car is an over-the-top demo show piece. This is what I would consider more of this is an everyday guy. He wants to put something in. You want it to sound good. You want to have great output and great sound. You're willing to do a few upgrades to get the electrical the way you need it, but you're not wanting to do fiberglass and all those kinds of things, especially because you said you're testing stuff in and out of it all day long anyway. So you might have the quad box in there, and then you may come to work and have to pull that quad box out and test a different prototype box that we're working on.
Yes, sir. So yeah, like we were talking about, this is a real deal daily driver. Like every single day. I have another car. It's a 2000 Camaro SS, but it's an old car. It's a fun weekend car show cruiser car. It's not a hop in and go on a rainy day because it's also low and everything. But this is my go-to. Started in, has to be reliable, has to be ready to go every morning. So that's what it's built for.
Jesse Strawn asked a question, what's that thing meter? Definitely above a 140 at that power. Yeah, Jesse, it definitely does above a 140. We were tinkering around with it earlier, and I was getting 44s, 45s, and we really weren't into it as far as it would go, but that was plenty for me. It definitely gets up there in boogies and plays loud enough. So
you got to pay for the other 5 dB.
You got to pay for the other 5 dB. And then here, Rodney Basin asks, what does it have for staging? So what do you have up front? You told me a 404.
Yep, I got a 404, and it's actually hidden in the back, and I just got KS components all the way around, all 4 doors. It's nothing crazy. It's a realistic daily driver build. This is all stuff you could just go to your local dealer, take off the shelf, pop in that evening. Like, this is a realistic, simple, honestly simple, very simple compared to what we usually do install. So,
you know, John Kerry here piped in. I just got this comment. Looking like my engine, dusty with excess bats and a big alt. Well, you know, John, it's an everyday, real daily vehicle that this young guy is driving around. He gets the opportunity, obviously, to use this as a test vehicle, so he can take the quad box out and put in different vehicles that we're doing for testing. So this is a real, like he says, a real everyday daily driver. And dusty, yeah, but it's still clean. I mean, it's still very clean.
Not bad for 18 years, only 130,000 miles on it, and it does go up and down dirt roads all the time. I take it camping. I took it camping 2 weeks ago, and I can still fit a tent in the back. I can even pop that quad box out, literally 10 minutes, have my whole interior set up like a camper. Like, I'm not joking when I say I'm greedy. This thing has to do it all.
And RVH, Kip didn't want the extra gravy. I had enough gravy. We had to stop pouring the gravy on because mid 140s, that was plenty for me.
Nope.
So you're right, Notorious. We
Couldn't
had to
handle
get that
it.
out of there. But you know, here's another. Cornut has a thing. He still has room to spare for the L7X18 quad box prototype.
I think he's onto something with that one, honestly. I don't know, but he might be onto something.
Might be something there. We may have to look into that. So with that said, obviously daily driver, you get to play around with a lot of cool things. You've done what you need for electrical, so you've got a good, reliable system to power the amplifier up. Let's take a listen to it.
All right, if we have to.
We have to. Let's get in and take a listen to this puppy. So can I roll my window down? That way Ernie or Tim can get a... Okay, so there we go. So my mic's hot, your mic's hot. You still have your mic? He left the mic outside.
I don't want to talk anymore.
So notice you have a JVC touchscreen head unit.
Yep.
You got the KX 2400 wireless base remote knob here, so you can control the amplifier from up front. You said you have KS components front and rear.
Yes, sir.
Question for you.
Yep.
Do you think when they're available, you will try a pair of the Snowman tweeter mid pods up here?
You know, we were talking about that earlier, and I gotta do something more, honestly. I gotta get more up front. I mean, the quad box, it's awesome. It sounds great. It pounds. And the 404 helps keeping the door speakers up, but I need that imaging. I need that stage up high, up top, and I think that'll be the ticket. Once we get some, fingers are crossed. Very seriously, fingers crossed.
So if we had prototypes you could use, you'd probably already have them.
Oh, yeah. Literally, guys, the product shortage is not an exaggeration. This is the real deal, guys.
All right, so what we're going to do here, same thing as four fellas. We've got some music here that we won't get in trouble for. We're going to turn it up and play this. We'll get a little demo here with the mics, and then maybe what we can do is we'll turn it down, we'll open up the back hatch, and then Tim can get maybe a shot of the woofers and get some activity on that going on, or maybe even get it through the window. Whatever works for him. So let's pick your song, whatever you like, man.
Oh, this is my favorite right here.
Okay. He's pouring on the gravy.
I didn't like that one.
That's whatever song you like, you play it.
Let's hear this one.
He's a connoisseur. He wants to pick the right track. Turn it down just a little bit. You stay here. I'm going to go open up the back and then have you turn it back up with so Tim can see the woofers. Whew. Wow. Okay, go ahead, Chase. Out of your way, Ernie. Hey, Joseph, if you can hear me, you're right. I mean, like we tell everyone, it's very difficult to give you any idea of the how loud and how potent these systems are over mic because you just overload them. I'm sure the mics are just reaching their end and crapping out. It's a little lower volume now, so hopefully you can get an idea of how full and rich it sounds. But yeah, we're definitely more output than the mics are capable of handling. But I hope you guys are enjoying this footage of Chase's Tahoe. And like I said, he's running the prototype quad box in here, so this is really, really cool. Scott from Power Hog Killer Footage, thanks, Scott. We appreciate that, man. The quad box, you know, it's the box that everyone loves to talk about. It sounds great. It's built like a tank. It has a wonderful finish on it. And, you know, for an everyday guy who just wants something, I want something that's easy. I want to put it in my car. I want to get some great bass. I want it now. This box definitely gets it done. And we just thought it'd be great to have Chase come in with his vehicle and show you guys this box and his system. We thought it'd be really, really fun to see this. Hopefully you're appreciating it. So we'll let him play another track here or something, then we'll move on down. But thanks for that, man. We certainly appreciate it. Will my ZX1001 sound good with these? Sure, Jerome, your 1001 will sound good with this. Here's the thing to keep in mind is the power rating. Whichever camera we're on, we just lost video signal. So I don't know which one it was. We just lost video signal. Let me come up here. So, Jerome, yes, 1000.1 will sound fine on that box. Here's the thing about power. You do want to have a certain amount of power for a speaker to sound good, and it's like a gas pedal in a car. You know, your car can run just fine on 30 horsepower, can perform, go down the highway and work really well. But, you know, if you put your foot all the way down, you take advantage of all the horsepower in your car, you're going to get all of it. That quad box is the same way. It'll sound good on 1,000 watts. It's going to sound good on 1,500 watts. It's going to sound good on 2,000 watts. It's going to sound good on 2,400 watts, which is where we rate it at. And Derek Williston, you know, Williston Audio Labs, he's tested it, and his sounds great running. I think he used a 3K or a 5K amp. I think it's what was rated. It may have not done that full power, but when he was doing some testing on the quad box that he got for unboxing and demonstration, he actually used more than 2,400 watts on it. So yeah, will your 1,000.1 sound good on those? Yes. And we're actually working on a demo here. Once we get it set up, we're going to take it to Knowledge Fest. When we get that one done, we'll actually bring it on the show and talk about it because we're going to take a quad box and we're going to run it with a whole lot less power than that and show you guys what it can do. It'll be an interesting test. We know it's going to sound good, but it'll be really cool for you to see that. So thanks for asking that question, Jerome, and we'll see if there's anything else in here. Yeah, 5K, I think that is what he put on it, was 5K. High Five Vega, I still haven't heard a quad box. Robert, you're close. We need to plan another Tuesday night and get you over. You know we can do that. You're so close. I always think you're on the other coast. You're over on the far east coast, but you're really not. You're close. We need to get you in for that. Quad box, took it like a champ. Yes, sir, Tony, that quad box. It is a fantastic sounding box. You obviously been running the prototype, still running the prototype.
Yep.
If you were choosing a box to put in your car, if you could choose anything in the Kicker lineup here to put in your car, would it still be the quad box?
Honestly, yeah. I built a bandpass dual QL712 box before this, and it was also on a 2,400 watt amp, and it was cool and everything, pretty peaky, but this thing just blows it out of the water. I'm talking, it's like sound quality meets pressure. It's nuts. Like, it does not flirt with any of the lines of that, oh, it's a one-note wonder, oh, it'll only sound good on, you know, deep trap music. You can literally play like the Beatles on this and you're bumping and it sounds incredible and you're ready to go and show it off, and everyone's impressed every single time they hear it. They just can't believe it. You know, like it's and when people walk up to it and look at it, they go, oh no, I'm not even gonna listen to that thing. I'm like, no. This is not blow your hair back and knock you out of the window. This is like a fun, realistic, awesome sounding box that you just can't beat.
Hey, Brad, yes, Mr. Hi-Fi Vega is going to be at Knowledge Fest down in Dallas, and he will get an opportunity to see what I'm telling you guys about and experience it in Dallas. And we're going to be doing some Unmasked live feeds direct from Dallas, so that'll be our opportunity to have some fun with that. So thanks for saying that, Brad. That just triggered my memory to remember that. And then this one here, I'm going to bring up 25%. How'd you get that job, young buck?
Well, so I started working here when I was just turned 20 years old, and I actually started in the OEM production line and just building the little 10-inch enclosures with 200 watts on them, the very simple drop-in kits, just right on the line.
Sure.
That kind of thing. And I'd always been into car audio, like we talked about the 215s and the Tahoe in high school, and just kind of did what I could, learned what I could, did as many installs as I possibly could, and then an opportunity opened up in the custom install bay, and I just kind of showed them off what I did, and hoped that they would kind of appreciate everything that I knew and the promise that I brought to the table, and a good work ethic. That's the only thing that'll get you anywhere. Good work ethic. You can't beat it.
Mothra B17, it ties into the same previous question. What does Chase do for kicker? Currently, Chase works back in our special ops / tech bay or tech area, and these guys are involved in not just building kicker show cars or kicker demo cars. We do what's pretty cool. A lot of people don't know, we actually have kind of this undercover PA system that we manufacture at Kicker we use for marketing purposes. These guys build these on a regular basis, tune and tweak those for a lot of our marketing partners and stuff for us. Displays that are out in our dealers, these guys get involved in actually manufacturing, from concept to prototyping to actually getting these things up and ready to go to dealers. So he works in that department. And like he said, he started in the company and he got an opportunity. A position came open back there in the tech area, and he applied and showed what he knew. And he kind of started off as kind of like a shop helper and helping the guys who are back there with more experience do things. And of course, by helping them, he's learned a lot of knowledge. He got to show them what he's capable of, which has allowed him to do even more things. And so I would imagine Chase is pretty happy where it's at, and he's back in their tech, and he just keeps expanding his skill set.
Oh yeah, man, this is literally virtually my dream job. Like, as a car guy growing up, my dad was a car guy. My grandpa did car upholstery for like 40 years. Always grew up around cars. Love the culture. Just super about it, man. I'm just passionate. I just love the industry. So.
High Five Vegas says, much like Israel, when you're born in Stillwater, you must serve a minimum of 2 years at Kicker. It's like a requirement.
I'm 7 in so far, so I guess it's a life sentence. I don't know.
Here's a question real quick. Do you still have all 17 rides, or you sell one to get the next one?
Oh, always sell or trade or do whatever I can, honestly, to get the next one. I am a used car fanatic. I love buying, selling, fix them up. When I got this one a year ago, it was entirely stock. One owner for 16 and a half years. So everything you see done to it, even the squat, for the haters, it's squatted, 4 inches in the back, 3 in the front. But everything I've done to it in the last year has just been on my own free time, guys in the shop helping me out where they can and that kind of stuff. So
we know here in Stillwater it's really kind of a regional airport, but they do land bigger planes here. But we have a couple flights out here to Dallas and back every day. And if they have a power outage over there, it's kind of out in the rural area. They just ask Chance to come over and sit at the end of the runway because he can guide the planes right in with his lights.
Oh yeah, all day.
That's his second job that he works,
Second out of 5,
That's really cool. So, you know what? Chase is really good at this. I think he's doing a really fantastic job, and it's great to have him here on the team. And so with that said, I know we're running over on the show, guys, and we certainly appreciate it, but we got one more ride we want to get in. So for those of you hanging in, which is, man, a whole bunch of you, stay tuned in because we're moving to the last ride of the bunch right here. Chase.
Hey, appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much for showing us your ride, having some fun with us.
Yes, sir.
Means a whole lot. I'm sure everyone out there appreciate it. So this is Chase. He is our third contestant here on the show tonight, showing off his Tahoe Z71 with his quad box, full Kicker KS and KX amplifier install. You got anything else you want to add, Chase?
That's it. Love Kicker, living loud. Let's go.
All right, man. Hand the mic over to Timmy. Let's get Timmy over here. They say they save the best for last.
No.
In this case, we did save the best for last because you're the best camera guy we got. So we need to get everything else done first.
Tired camera guy tonight.
I know, but man, thanks for hanging in there. So Tim, and I mean this sincerely and everyone out there, there seems to be a theme if you look at a lot of the guys who have been at Kicker a while, and you've been here for 15 years?
21 actually.
Oh my Lord, I didn't know it was that long. Man, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now I was going to say 15, 16 is what it felt like, but man, you've been here 21 years.
Yep. Hired 2000.
Wow. The thing about it is there's a lot of passionate guys that work here. And it's not just passion about car audio, it's passion about things that are maybe not even related to Kicker. And I will say what you're passionate about is, you're into a lot of the slammed, lowered trucks, sport trucks, I think you like to call them.
Yeah.
And I've known you for that for a long time, and I know this has been a labor of love for you, but I think the truck actually has kind of a cool backstory to it as far as how you got the truck.
It actually has roots in the company. Kevin Campbell, the head of our marketing department, which we had on a couple episodes back, it was actually his truck that he owned when he lived in Arizona.
Wow.
Back at his former life with other companies.
As we all know.
And when he moved to Oklahoma, he, for whatever reason, had this truck, and it was lifted 2 inches in the front, had no front air dam, and was kind of pre-runner style. So he decided that he didn't need a truck anymore. He had a little piece of land, didn't need a truck for anything, so he was just going to drive his car. And I joked with him one day that,
sure,
you know, if you decide you want to get rid of it, let me know. And it was like 2 weeks later, he said, "What's it worth?" And it's yours.
Wow. So the truck came with Kevin from Arizona.
Yep.
So obviously coming from Arizona, it was probably, in, as I remember, really good shape.
It was an extremely clean truck. It was an extremely clean truck.
So what did you decide? Did you have a plan for the truck when you bought it for him, or you just wanted the truck because of what it was?
No, I wanted the truck because I knew exactly what I was going to do with it. And I started hoarding parts immediately. And LMC and me became very, very close friends as I decided they had everything I needed. So I bought a lot of interior pieces and exterior pieces from LMC trucks.
So if you can, let's start at the outside. Walk us through the truck itself and tell us, you know, as far as what have you done to the truck? Is there anything special about the paint? I mean, anything you want to tell us about the truck itself? Pretend I'm at a car show and I know nothing. Tell me about your truck.
Well, it's a 94 Silverado that I updated updated the front end to the composite headlights. It had the work truck grill on it originally, and I didn't really care for the work truck front end. I do have a friend that is in the show scene that has a work truck front end, and it looks phenomenal on his. I just didn't care for it for mine.
Sure.
And then I had a 3/4 chassis from the firewall back built by Jake and the guys at Fat Fabs in Choctaw, Oklahoma. So it is fully body dropped, 2x4 square frame tubing, front to back, and just, I mean, it's one of those trucks. It's taken forever to get to this point, but now that it's here, it's almost hard to believe. But
the paint job that you've got on this reminds me, I keep wanting to think about a root beer float. Is that kind of the color, or?
Yeah, I'd always wanted it. I really like graphics on these trucks, but at the same time, if something were to happen, getting a panel repainted afterwards can sometimes be a real hassle. So I decided I wanted to go with a more traditional two-tone. And I'd seen this brown on a Toyota Tundra and absolutely fell in love with it. It was an overcast day. The truck I thought was black, and the light came out from behind the clouds and just absolutely popped the entire truck back brown. And so I literally whipped a U-turn and went to O'Reilly's and found the paint code for that year model Tundra, and that was the two-tone. And when I took it to the painter Charles and told him what I wanted to do, he was like, "Are you really sure you want to paint this black and brown?" And I was like, "I think it's going to work." And after we got done painting, he got done painting it, he was like, "I think you were right, it works."
It's an absolute gorgeous vehicle. And then I know Ernie's over there on cam duty right now. I want to walk to the bed because the detail and work that you put into the bed is just as the same caliber as what we see here on the outside of the vehicle.
Yeah, I looked at a couple of companies as far as wood bed floors, and then I realized it's like, you know, I'd work with a router every day, so why don't I just make my own bed floor? So I went down to Lowe's and picked out a couple of chunks of cedar and got to cutting and routering and staining, and that's what it ended up with.
So you built this bed floor. This isn't a bought kit. This is something you built by hand and put into the truck.
No, it has the stock metal bed floor underneath the bed, and then I just put in 1x square tubing and then drilled and tapped where all the stainless holders are. And then those Route 66 knobs that you see in the corner, the two rear corners of the bed will actually lift out so you can access the excess power batteries, the Vire controller, or the air ride compressors, the airlift 3H manifold, or the flow air ride tank, or the fuel cell is all underneath the bed on the either side.
Someone here asked me a question. Bagged on tanks, air?
Yeah, it's full air ride, so it's bagged.
So full air ride suspension and system on this.
Yeah, and then it's body dropped, so the body is actually the body and the frame hit the ground at the same time.
Okay.
So when you lay the truck out, it fully lays out.
So it fully lays out all the way down.
Yeah, there's nothing passing underneath this thing. I don't have to have a parking brake anymore because it is its own parking brake.
You know, Bobby, there, hope that, yes, it is bagged. Bobby, I saw you ask that question after someone else had asked us. I wanted to throw that up there. And you said it's air?
Yes, it's airlift.
Airlift, okay.
Yeah, our buddies at Airlift.
Yes, sir. So, gorgeous back. You handmade the bed yourself, which is just amazing. The vehicle itself inside, you wanted to keep it as stock as possible, did you not?
There's a gentleman in the scene named Del Yushenko who builds C10s, and actually he'll build just about anything. But he really likes to keep it original and almost where you can't tell that the modifications have been there. It's almost like an upfit OEM type setup, and so I kind of decided that I really like that because a lot of people will their eyes will just glaze over the stuff that you've done and not realize that it's been done.
Right.
And I really thought that was a cool deal. So when I started doing the interior on this, the dash came out in about 300 pieces. That was the one thing Arizona did claim.
Was the dash.
Was the light gray dash and interior. It ate it right up. So I went up to Tulsa and LKQ and ended up pulling a fresh dash.
Pull apart.
Oh yeah. Me and Pull Apart were close there for a while. I found a lot of parts for this guy up there. And I got a fresh dash, all the interior trim, and got it down here and either upholstered it or color matched it and painted it all myself.
So regular guy audio just had a question. He wants to, is it C-notched?
Yes, it's a full frame from the firewall and just behind the engine all the way back. It's a all new chassis.
Okay, so there you go, guys. It is a full frame notch. If you have any other questions, man, throw them up here. I'll try to look at the pad and get them, or JW can maybe get Tim's or Ernie's attention on the mic. Let us know. We'll definitely ask these questions. So as I look at the interior, the doors are, just clean. I know they're not stock, but they look stock.
Yeah, that was that kind of the thing. I wanted it to look OEM, but a little bit nicer materials. You know, they're all vinyl wrapped. The insert in the top of the door is actually an older Ford material, strangely enough, that was used in the inserts on some of their old full-size Ranger trucks. And I just really like that embossed look, so I've integrated that in there.
So my Ford Camaro Chevy Mustang's kind of happening right here.
Kind of, yeah. This has got a little bit of everything in it.
So
and it's funny. The only way to make these doors look good in my mind is if you make it look like it has a speaker. But if you actually reach down and tap that grill cloth, that's just ABS plastic behind it. There's no speaker in the door at all.
So I noticed Tim was, or not Tim, I noticed Ernie was getting it. I'm so used to you being the camera guy, I can't help myself. I noticed that Ernie got already a shot down there. So I noticed you have kick panels in here. So the door speaker is just a faux, it's there for looks.
It's one of those things that if you didn't have the look of a speaker down there, I could not make that door look right to my eye.
Sure.
I kept looking at it, and this is probably the third iteration of door panels that I've had in this truck. And this is the one that I came up with, to me, was the most pleasing to my eye.
Well, I got to tell you, when you talk about, the look you're going for, which is that kind of like OE look, but kind of an upfit, so it's still, though, I know that's not the stock door panel. In the day, I've worked on enough of these trucks to know that, but that looks like a new generation version of what would be a stock panel in this vehicle. I mean, you pulled it off. I have to say, it's very tastefully done and well executed, because I know it's not stock, but I don't care. It feels like it's stock, but better.
Oh, thank you. That's really what I was going for on this.
Now, I noticed when you say you wanted to keep the whole look and everything, when I'm going to the dash, did that include all the way down to keeping the old Viper LED red security light right there on the dash?
This actually still has that alarm on it, and it still works. It's remote start, keyless entry, and it works perfectly and flawlessly, just like the day it was installed.
Here, let me steal that camera from. Yeah. I'm gonna get a shot of the dash over here. So when I said that, that's what I was looking at, folks. Is he still has the little Viper DEI red LED? I guess it could be an old code LED too.
Focus.
That very well could be.
The focus out?
On the front. Here we go. Good. You're moving. Okay.
So that's what kind of caught my attention. I had to see that. So when you say that, keeping it stock, but yet having that feel, I just think it's cool you got that original LED in there from way back.
That and the fact that if you try to replace that instrument bezel, if you can find an NOS version of that instrument bezel, it's probably going to cost you $300 to $500. So I figured, hey, it's already got the hole in it. I might as well just go ahead and keep it.
You might as
instead of
well.
hiding it somewhere. Yeah, but no, it still works just like the day it was installed.
Now, as far as audio system in here, obviously we saw the kick panels. I can tell that's Q-class components.
Yep, they're the QSS 6.5s. They're actually the smaller ones.
Okay.
And those are actually Q-Forms kick panels from that used to be Audio Innovations right on the other side of town, and that's actually where I started my career in car audio.
That's just what I was going to ask you. Is you used to work at Q-Forms?
I worked at Q-Logic and AI for 3.5 years, and I worked in just about every department that company had. But Jason, who actually is the gentleman who now owns the rights to the Q-Forms, got me hooked up on a set of those. So because I never had a vehicle when I worked at AI that I could use the Q kick panels in. And when I got this truck, I was like, I'm going to hunt a set of those down. And Jason Owens has resurrected the brand, and I was able to get a hold of a set of those from him.
So Mothra B17 asks, is that a kicker head unit? And the answer is, yeah, that's a kicker marine source unit.
Every single audio component in this is made by us. It's a KMC4 head unit. There's 2 IQ 1005s powering the entire system, the QSS components and the kick panels, KS 4x6s in the stock locations in the dash, and then behind the seat we actually have a pair, just for the time being. I haven't decided on what my final enclosure and sub combination is going to be in this particular truck. So for the time being, we wanted to use this at a couple of events and show the capabilities of our prefab enclosures.
Right.
So it has a couple of the Comp RT with the passive radiators, truck boxes, a pair of 10s behind the seat.
So what we need to do, if we can, get Ernie, can we tilt the seat forward and get a look at the back?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we're going to make Ernie do some work.
So yeah, behind the seat, we've got a pair of the Comp RT loaded enclosures.
And those are the 10s or the 12s, you said?
Those are the 10s.
So a pair of 10s,
yep,
Comp RT loaded enclosures.
One of them is running off each of the sub-channels on the 1005.
Yeah, so just what I was going to ask you. So you're using an IQ 1005 to run the entire vehicle?
Yes, sir. No, I have 2 1005s.
Oh, 2 1005s.
Yeah, I have 4 channels on one of the 1005s bridged to the QS mids. And then the other 4 channels on the second 1005 are running the dash 4x6s and the tweeters and the kick panels.
Hey, Basehead 30, yeah, it feels like you're watching Dean and Fernando. Because they always forget the compressor too. The thing is here, this is a great big one that's back here in the warehouse that runs the facility, and we can't get to it to shut it off, so we're just having to deal with it, so we apologize. Well, this was just so convenient to do outside the studio, so we apologize. We know there's some extraneous noises we're dealing with here, but thank you all for tuning in. I have another question here. Maybe, first off, I'd like to get in it and actually do a demo so people can hear it. And I had someone ask, is it okay to pop the hood and look under the hood?
It's a stock 4.3 liter V6. I'm in the process of building an LS motor for it right now.
Okay.
And I'm getting closer. I'm hoping maybe by Slamboree of 22 for my club's 30th anniversary to have that in along with the slosh tubs to really actually clean up the engine compartment. Right now it's just an old dirty 4.3.
So Bobby, there's your answer. He's working on it. He's getting an LS outfitted for it. When he gets that dropped in there and all that cleaned up, we will show you under the hood. But he's saying right now it's just dirty stock.
Yeah, it's underneath the hood. It's just a goer. It's not a shower.
Thomas, thank you for that comment. It is a super clean install. Tim is another one of these guys here. He's very attention to detail oriented. He likes things to look a certain way. He's very right angle. And what he's put together here is a fantastic looking vehicle. So with that said, I'm going to mosey around to the other side and join him. I'm going to let him get in here on the driver's side, and we're going to take a listen to the install and see what he's got going on here.
Sure, these tracks you gave me, which ones are what?
I did go. No. No. There you go. That one's okay. Wow. Tim, that sounds really good. Man, those Comp RT boxes impress me more every time I hear them.
I'm the exact same way.
I'm blown. Tim, it sounds fantastic. I'm going to step out of the vehicle so Ernie can get a camera in over here because I want to ask you a question, and it'd probably be better if you stay. I want to have Ernie come join you.
All right.
So for the people who don't know, I saw it there on the dash, just below the radio there. What is that airlift or air ride control thing there?
Yeah, this is the controller for the air ride, so I can control all 4 corners individually, or I can preset actually any of these 5 middle buttons to certain ride heights. And right now I just have it set up for pressure, but once I get with Jake and the guys down in Choctaw, they're going to put the height sensors on, and the height sensors in each of the 4 corners will adjust the ride height of the vehicle. So if I'm going down the road and I have it set at a certain ride height, and I have a buddy, if I throw a couple of lawn chairs in the back and a cooler, it'll automatically compensate for that load. If I have a buddy hop in the passenger seat, it'll automatically compensate for that and keep it at that same ride height, and it constantly checks thousands of times per second and automatically makes adjustments.
Tim, looks great, sounds great.
Appreciate it, sir.
Now, I'm only going to ask, and I know it's going to break your heart to answer the question, but since they've asked it, I'm going to ask you.
Let me guess, is Andrew Lowe in the feed?
I don't. It's the dent.
It's not a dent. That's a nipple.
Oh, it's not a dent, folks. It's a nipple.
It's a nipple.
So
before I got hooked up with the kind folks at Wham Rods and got some struts to hold my hood up, I had to use what we call a prop rod.
Yes.
And I was in the shop one afternoon. The missus was out mowing the yard. I was doing some underhood improvements, cleaning it up a little bit. And I might have bumped the prop rod, and this little knot and knob that's on the top of your ball cap right there may have found one of the only areas underneath that hood where there's not a brace and went straight to the outer skin of the truck.
So if it's like most things, you don't like talking about it, but that's how it happened.
That's how it happened.
So when we do the LS upgrade, we'll probably be looking at getting rid of the nipple?
Oh, yeah, no. That probably sooner rather than later will get PDR'd out because, like I said, there's no brace there. It's easy for them to get to both sides. They can knock that out in no time. It's just a matter of getting around to it.
So here, you know what? This is more work for us. Bobby B, Kip, need to put these tracks up on the Kicker website for anyone? I don't know if we can do that, Bobby. I'll have to see how that works. We actually pay for a service that lets us use them royalty-free. I don't know how far that extends.
We'll have to get with the lawyers Bob Oblaw and Dewey Cheatham and Howe and see how
Yes.
see how legit that can be.
Here, Mike Craner, thought that was Bill Frog on the windshield for a minute.
No, that's actually my friend Grasshopper. He's one of the guys in the club that I'm involved with, Negative Camber. He had a decal made of himself, and he actually has a grasshopper in his chopsticks, and so he rides shotgun with me everywhere I go.
You know, Tony, passive radiators put in work. This is what I got to say about those passive radiators. And I meant it when I was in the truck, Tim. Every time I hear those comp RT boxes, and the same thing for the downfiring, if that's the one you're in, those passive radiator boxes just sound good. They're tight, they're solid. You keep pouring on the gravy, and they just keep eating it up.
Yep, yeah, the downfires to me are just phenomenal. I mean, if I had a little more cab space, I'd have like 4 of those downfires stacked up back there.
Absolutely. You know, Matthew P., lots of distortion. There is, and like we said in the beginning, when we're cranking these systems, getting up on them, we are overloading these microphones, and we know it. There's really no way to give you an honest demo over microphone, but we thought we'd at least want to play some music for you to give you an idea. These systems do play. They're not just all for looks. They do make noise. They do sound good. Apologize for overdriving the mics. We do the best we can.
What we should have done is found one of those doorstop things, and every time the bass hits, you just go,
that would have been good.
Yeah, they'd have loved that.
Hey, here's a good question. I don't even know if I know the answer to this one. Bobby Hamilton says, hey, Kip, can you switch the passive radiator and the sub locations in one of those prefab boxes for symmetry?
Yes, you can. And Jeremy, actually, he did an install for one of the gentlemen in Oklahoma City who's affiliated with the Street Outlaws, and he did that very thing. There's a little more bracing in behind where the passive radiator is, so you have to kind of move it over to the one, get it out of the way and move it over to the other side. But yes, you can do it.
You can do it. So there you go, Bobby. It is possible, entirely possible. Let's see if there's any more comments here. So blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. So if you have any more questions about Tim's truck, go ahead and throw them in the feed. We'll try to grab those real quick. We know we're running long tonight, folks, and we sincerely apologize. I know we're running about 30 minutes long here. But Tim, great vehicle. It's obvious you have a passion not just for great sounding and looking audio, but a great looking vehicle. And I got to give you props on this, just like John's. I mean, even though I work here on a daily basis and see you guys and we do what we do, it's very rare that we take the moment and just stop and appreciate or admire what you've put into doing and for your own vehicle. And I got to tell you, all three of you, even young Buck here, clean, tight, sounds good.
We're trying to learn him, but I still can't get him out of the squat truck phase. I keep trying, like, it looks like one of them old Lincoln Continentals where the rear airbags have gone out when I see him leave work every day, and I'm like, one day we'll get to him.
Well, I can't lie. I came into work, came in through the back gate one morning, and I saw I just found out he had a quad box. And I saw the truck. I'm exaggerating, but I saw the truck sitting like this, pulled it back, and I thought, wow, man, that quad box is really squatting that truck. And then I found out it was on purpose.
Yep. No, it was all of his own design. He likes that. Was it East Carolina squat truck scene out there? Just can't get with it, buddy. Just can't get with it.
James Smith has a question here real quick. Any tips for using the Q forms? And I think you'd probably agree with this. Probably the biggest tip for Q forms is deadening.
Hush mat. Lots of hush mat. And I also like to do a 3/4 inch MDF ring on the backside so the woofer, when it mounts through the ABS into that ring, it really gives it a good solid bite.
The Thomas Marshall wants to ask, how hard was it to get that head unit into the dash?
Actually, it wasn't very hard at all. When you and a lot of times they have the aftermarket head unit will be in the center where the tape deck and graphic EQ used to be on these trucks.
Right.
And then you would you put your single DIN radio over there, and then you end up with a pocket that you could put CDs in or change or whatever.
Sure.
I just took one of those pockets, molded in a piece of ABS on the front, cut the 3-inch hole for the marine radio, and dropped it right in.
So pretty easy.
Yeah, no, it was real easy.
You know, El Fuego, he makes a comment here to 25 Hertz to Life. If you make it to the fall OSS meet, you'll see my version of a kicker system. And you know what's really cool, El Fuego, is there's no definite answer yet, but when there is one, we'll let you guys know. But we're definitely talking about the possibility of having the OSS fall meet here at Kicker. And if we do, will you not only get to see these vehicles, but all you guys who come attend, you'll be able to see all those vehicles as well. And that's what it's all about. We really want people to see and appreciate the passion and the time and the love, because that's what it is. I mean, you don't do this unless you love it.
Exactly. And nobody gets rich from this.
No, it's not.
This is a passion thing.
So obviously, there's a passion about this, and these guys, a passion through and through. I can't say enough. I'm just seeing if there's any more questions here for Tim. Looks like that's about it. If there's any more coming in, I'll try to grab them at the end. Blah, 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 blah. Kip is a pro. I don't know about that. I just do it. We're just doing the best we can, brother. Thank you for the comment. Scott, Scott, I can't wait either. I'm hoping we can get it to happen here. We can get that going on. That would be fantastic. So hopefully you have enjoyed the trip into these four gentlemen's. I like to say it's kind of this a look behind the scenes with them. I mean, this is kind of personal, their vehicles, the passion that they put into them. But, JW with his Harley-Davidson bike, you got John with his Mustang, you got Chase over there with his Tahoe. He's been testing quad boxes before they were available to sell. And, Tim over here with his passion into his truck. I certainly hope you all appreciated them wanting to share their vehicles with you. A lot of you have asked to want to see what do you guys have in your cars, and hopefully this is just a little bit of a taste to show you what we as employees have in our cars. And as we move forward, we'll find a way to get 3 or 4 more lucky victims, and we'll get them on here, and we'll do the same thing if you guys enjoy something like this.
Let's head back in the studio and give away some prizes.
Let's do that.
All right.
Let's go. So everyone, we are going to move to the studio. Might be a short blip. We'll be right back. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna stand. I just don't feel like I can sit down right now. There'll be some sitting going on afterwards, but that'll be with a beverage of some kind going in. Jesse Strawn, I love the variety of all the installs, completely different and all awesome in their own right. That was cool. Jesse, thank you. We sincerely, when we tell you we want input from everyone watching this show, we're sincere about it. Whether you drop it into the comment feed or more specifically, if you reach out to social@kicker.com, Bill pulls all this information together. We sit down and talk about it, and we plan the next month's shows. We really want to bring content that you guys find fun and informative. So this was a culmination of that, and we picked 4 vehicles that we felt were a good representation of something from clean, stock, but performs, all the way up to completely heavily modified to something that is a passion and a dream, which is, getting into that lowered truck, slam truck lifestyle, which Tim does, or 2 wheels out on the highway. We had a blast putting this together. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We do apologize for running a little bit long. Didn't mean for it to take so long, but once you get started in something like this, it's hard to stop. So with that said, let's get right into our winners for the night. I'm sure those of you tuned in would like to know who our 3 prize winners are for the night are. So with that said, Bill, do we have winners? Yep. All right. Winner number 3, who do we got, Bill? I'm staring at the screen of love. Winner, RVH? No way. It's definitely rigged. RVH, you are our 3rd place winner tonight. Robert, congratulations. You are going to get a set of EB300 earbuds. You're going to get one of the Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly Gray shirts. And you're going to get a couple of Kicker koozies to keep your favorite beverage cold. Something we need you to do, you can either reach out to social@kicker.com if you know you're a winner, or Bill will reach out to you tomorrow. And what we need is you to confirm your shipping address. It cannot be a P.O. box, please. We need you to give us a phone number. We promise, and we mean this seriously, that phone number will go no further than onto the shipping information, because it doesn't matter how we send it, UPS, FedEx, DHS, DHL, UPS, USPS, the whole 9 yards. They want a phone number so they can reach out and contact you if they can't find you or they need to arrange a pickup at the office. So we do need a phone number. And if you could please confirm in the contact email from Bill your shirt size, we will make sure you get the right size. So RVH, congrats, welcome, thank you. Bill, who's winner number 2? Winner number 2 is Anthony N. from Maine. So Anthony from Maine, you are our number 2 winner tonight. Please reach out to social@kicker.com with that information we asked for, address, phone number, no P.O. box, and confirm your shirt size, and Bill will be sending you an email tomorrow. So you can reach our direction, social@kicker.com, or Bill will be contacting you tomorrow. So you're winner number 2. You're getting the same thing as our 3rd place winner. That's the shirt, the koozies, and the EB300 Bluetooth wireless earbuds. And that brings us to our grand prize winner, who's going to get the koozies, going to get the shirt, and you're going to get a down-firing CVT 10-inch enclosure with driver in it. That'll help get you started on your way to having a Kicker system if you don't already have one. And so winner number 1, grand prize winner on this Tuesday night, Bill, is Alexander B is what it looks like from Virginia. I hope I said that right. Alexander B from Virginia. You are our grand prize winner tonight. You're going to get the shirt, you're going to get the koozie, and you're going to get that down-firing kicker subwoofer enclosure, the CVT-10. Everyone, thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for entering the contest. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, just like Bobby B says. We hope you all have a good time. We love putting this show on for you. It's always fun. We're always looking for new and interesting topics, things you find enjoyable. Congrats from David Enke. Thanks, sir. Thanks for the shout out. If you have anything you'd like to see on the show, as always, please reach out. Let us know at sociallykicker.com. If you can, on the way out the door tonight, we'd appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up button. We certainly gives us a good amount of information from that. Lets us know you guys like the content. Also, subscribe. Remember, we're knocking on the 20,000 subscriber door. When we hit 20K on YouTube, we're going to do a special prize giveaway. The sooner we get there, the sooner we do that prize. So hit that subscribe button. Get your friends, get your buddies to tune in and watch the show. Jesse Strong, congrats winners. Thanks to the Kicker employees for showing their rides. Awesome show. Jesse, thank you for tuning in. Bobby B, congrats winners. You know, everyone, we certainly appreciate you tuning in. We hope you had a great time. Great show, guys. Thanks, Paul. We appreciate it. It's our pleasure to be the 5, plus we had some guests tonight, so there's more than 5 of us here tonight. But we are the lucky knuckleheads that get to get in front of the camera, give you guys an inside look behind the Kicker family, see what's going on here at the factory, give you the inside scoop on new products that are coming up, and have some fun while we're doing it, and give some stuff away out of Jeremy's budget, because that's what he needs to do, give some stuff that way. Mr. Billiards, you have a good one too. David, good evening, everybody. Everybody. So with that said, for the 200 plus employees who make a living here at Stillwater, Oklahoma, at Stillwater Designs Audio, otherwise known as Kicker, we want to say thank you for tuning in tonight. Have a safe rest of your week. Enjoy the weekend. Do something fun. And we will see you back here next Tuesday night, 7:30 Central Time, as always, for Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. Everyone, have a good one.